This page is the cover of BeepMD magazine from May 1994. It features vibrant artwork of Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails, highlighting a special feature on the Game Gear handheld console and the Mega Jet. The cover also promotes a range of upcoming and featured games for the Mega Drive and Mega CD, including popular titles like Dragon Ball Z, Fatal Fury 2, Dynamite Headdy, Crusader of Senti, Streets of Rage 3, Outrunners, and sports games like NBA Jam and FIFA Soccer. The Mega CD section highlights RPGs and adventure games such as Lunar, Eternal Blue, Dungeon Master 2, Popful Mail, Eye of the Beholder, and Dragon's Lair. There's also a special report covering the Genesis, Super 32X, Saturn, and 3D platforms, looking ahead at the future of gaming. A bonus feature delves into the realism of F1 World Championship 1993. The cover sets the stage for a packed issue covering Sega's current and future hardware and a diverse library of games. This page features the fighting game Dragon Ball Z, Baiyu Retsuden for the Sega Mega Drive. Prominently displaying key villains Cell and Frieza, the page highlights it as a 16 meters fighting action game. Screenshots show intense battles in various environments, giving a glimpse of the gameplay. It supports 1 or 2 players and is designed for the 6-button fighting pad, although it is compatible with the standard 3-button controller. The game is listed at a price of 8,800 yen and is noted as being well received and currently on sale. This page prominently features the fighting game Dragon Ball Z, Baiyu Retsuden for the Sega Mega Drive, building on the introduction from the previous page. The main artwork showcases Super Saiyan Goku and Super Saiyan Gohan ready for battle. The bold vertical text proclaims, "Betting on the true strongest, the battle heads to a new field." The text below highlights the game's core appeal, bringing together iconic rivals like Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, Frieza, and Cell on the Mega Drive. It emphasizes the evolution of their techniques and numerous super special moves exploding across the dual-screen fields, urging players to aim for the top with endless fighting spirit. Screenshots display the split-screen gameplay, featuring intense fights in different arenas. The page points out exciting features, such as a story mode with heated developments and a 2-player versus mode for long-awaited showdowns. It also notes the faithful reproduction of the TV anime's power through the familiar voice cast and character artwork by Toei Animation. The game is published by Bandai. This page highlights the classic animated adventure, Dragon's Lair, making its way to the Sega Mega CD. The prominent artwork depicts Dirk the Daring, facing off against various foes in a perilous castle, promising an exciting new dimension of gaming. The text emphasizes controlling the animated hero to explore the eerie castle and rescue the kidnapped princess from a fearsome dragon, describing it as a new genre of adventure game unfolding entirely through animation. It details Dirk's quest to cross drawbridges, swing his sword, and delve deeper into the fortress. Dragon's Lair for Mega CD is scheduled for release on April 28, priced at 6,800 yen. Smaller screenshots showcase various animated scenes from the game, giving a glimpse into the hand-drawn world players will navigate. The page also briefly promotes other Sega products. It features Pro Striker perfect for the Mega Drive, highlighting its up-to-date J.League data and 4-player support, currently selling well at 8,800 yen. Additionally, it shows off Sega's current hardware lineup, including the compact Mega Drive 2 selling for 12,800 yen, the Mega CD2 attachment at 29,800 yen, and the integrated game machine, the Wonder Mega RGM2, available for 59,800 yen. This page showcases the arcade hit, NBA Jam, making its way to home consoles. The prominent central image features the game's iconic basketball logo bursting through text. Surrounding it are dynamic screenshots depicting high-flying dunks and fast-paced 2-on-2 basketball action. The text highlights the game's explosive dunks and competitive 2-on-2 format. It confirms the game is launching simultaneously on 3 different systems: Super Famicom, Mega Drive, and Game Gear. The page also includes small portraits of famous NBA players who are likely featured in the game, such as Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Shaquille O'Neal, Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, and Charles Barkley, emphasizing the star power. Acclaim is listed as the publisher for the Japanese release. This page features the announcement of a new adventure game from Game Arts, based on the classic anime and manga series, Urusei Yatsura, titled Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends. The key art prominently displays a character from the series, likely Lum, against a backdrop of a city and abstract structures. Vertical text on the left promotes the game as a new sensation adv, bringing the Urusei world back to life. While specific gameplay details aren't shown, the presentation emphasizes the revival of the beloved universe in an interactive format for fans. Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends, a Mega CD adventure game from GameArts, is revealed. Featuring Lum and Ataru, the game promises a faithful adaptation of the popular anime, recreating Tomobikicho and its quirky residents. With over 120 characters, extensive animation, voice acting, and Sega mouse support, players will explore a detailed recreation of the setting. The game's plot revolves around Ataru's antics, causing another disturbance in Tomobikicho. Published by GameArts, it releases April 15th for 7,800 yen. The next page features information on two distinct Mega CD titles. At the top, we see Microcosm, described as a battle within the human body using a fractal engine for ultra-realistic visuals and powerful 3D animation, hinting at a unique sci-fi shooter experience. The plot details a corporate rivalry escalating into a battle inside a CEO's brain after a mind control unit is implanted. Screenshots show a futuristic spacecraft and an organic, biological environment, representative of the internal setting. Further down is Heimdall, an action RPG based on Norse mythology. Players become Heimdall, tasked with recovering lost divine artifacts. The description mentions real-time battles and a novel quarter-view map system. Screenshots depict character portraits, environmental exploration, and combat. Both games are advertised as on sale now for 8,800 yen on Mega CD, published by Victor Entertainment. This page features the highly anticipated Mega CD sequel, Dungeon Master 2: Skullkeep. The main image showcases the game's dramatic title logo against a backdrop of a castle under a stormy sky, with a party of adventurers exploring a thorny outdoor area by torchlight. The headline proclaims that, when the balance of the world is shaken, the door to nightmare opens, describing it as another real world. The game is highlighted as a 3D real-time RPG with a grand scale, featuring enhanced realism and strategic battles driven by improved monster AI. Unlike the first game, it includes dynamic outdoor environments with natural phenomena like rain and lightning, as well as different dimensions, not just dungeons. Several screenshots demonstrate the gameplay. One shows an outdoor garden scene near an eerie castle, another depicts a monster merchant where players can buy and sell items, a third shows a combat encounter emphasizing the powerful battle scenes, and a final one illustrates the unique spy system allowing players to scout areas or retrieve items using a spy monster on the map. The game is available now for 9,800 yen and supports the Sega mouse. This page showcases the Sega CD title, Star Wars: Rebel Assault. It's presented as a 3D shooting adventure game with a completely original story based on the first two Star Wars films. The page highlights that players join the Rebel Alliance, tackling 15 stages with the ultimate goal of destroying the Empire's dreaded Death Star. The game leverages the power of the Cridrom, featuring numerous realistic cutscenes, incorporating live-action footage, the iconic movie soundtrack, and immersive audio. There's even a practice mode included, making it accessible for newcomers. The page is filled with pixelated images, depicting memorable scenes and elements from the Star Wars universe, such as X-Wings, TIE Fighters, AT-ATs, the Death Star itself, and Rebel pilots, giving a glimpse into the game's visual style. This highly anticipated title was scheduled for release in late June for 8,800 yen. This page is an advertisement for the Yoyogi Animation Gakuen, a specialized school aiming for 100% employment or debut in the industry. The school focuses on the rapidly changing computer, animation, and game fields, including multimedia, virtual reality, and interactive content. It positions itself as the quickest way to debut in these industries. The page highlights a wide variety of courses, covering diverse roles such as computer animation and game development, animation production, anime and AV operation, voice acting and talent, finish art, junior novels, special effects, background art, original anime creation, animation, comic and drama production, visual and illustration, and TV broadcasting art. Course durations vary, typically 1 or 2 years. The visual elements include several small panels, showcasing examples of early 3D computer graphics, featuring simple landscapes, abstract shapes, and a red race car, hinting at the kind of skills taught. The school has multiple locations across Japan, in cities like Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, Fukuoka, and Sapporo. Information is provided regarding dormitories, scholarships, and free trial lessons. Applications for the academic year starting in April are currently being accepted. This page is an advertisement showcasing the Super Guide series of game guidebooks published by SoftBank. It highlights 2 new releases and promotes 2 previously published titles. Featured new guides include the Super Guide for Fire Emblem, Mystery of the Emblem on Super Famicom, offering comprehensive strategy, maps, item and unit data, and a character encyclopedia for the acclaimed simulation RPG. Also new is the Super Robot Wars X Super Guide for the popular Super Famicom simulation game, detailing maps, scenario flowcharts, unit data, and a unique type-specific strategy guide method. Previously published guides promoted are the Street Fighter II Turbo Super Guide, providing in-depth strategies and special moves for all 12 characters, and the Super Mario Collection Super Guide, which thoroughly covers the 4 games included in the Super Mario All-Stars Collection, Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, and USA, The Lost Levels Western 2, with detailed maps. These guides are available at bookstores and published by SoftBank's publishing division. This page showcases SoftBank's series of RPG encyclopedia books, catering to fans looking to delve deeper into the fantasy worlds they love. 4 volumes are highlighted. The Age of Warriors book explores the historical and mythical figures who embody the spirit of RPG protagonists, from ancient soldiers to medieval knights and samurai. It details their courage and fighting styles. The Reverse Lookup Monster Guide Western Edition is a comprehensive resource for creatures found in Western RPGs, allowing readers to look up monsters and learn about their origins, characteristics, and lore. It's positioned as an essential guide for understanding fantasy game worlds. The Chambara Hero Tales volume focuses on the world of Japanese sword fighting drama, a familiar theme often underutilized in RPGs. It covers famous swords, techniques, and character archetypes relevant to this genre. Finally, the Japanese edition delves into Japanese mythology, drawing from texts like the Kojiki, to provide information on gods, characters, weapons, and armor that appear in Japanese-style fantasy RPGs. These books, available now from SoftBank, offer rich background knowledge for any dedicated RPG player or enthusiast. This page features the fantasy fighting action game, Battle Fantasy, for the Sega CD. Prominently displayed is striking anime-style artwork of a main character alongside the game's title, and the intriguing tagline, "I'll teach you the true meaning of fighting." The game is highlighted as an evolving fighting action experience set in a fantasy realm, where players select one of 10 unique warriors to battle their way through various enemies and challenges to defeat the ultimate foe, X Dark. A key mechanic mentioned is character growth and the need to survive countless battles. The page also notes that versus play is possible. Several small screenshots give a glimpse of the in-game visuals and character selection. Battle Fantasy was released on April 15th for 8,400 yen, tax excluded, by Micronet. This page serves as the table of contents for the May 1994 issue, showcasing a wealth of Sega gaming content. It highlights upcoming and recent releases across various platforms. Key sections include a new game scramble, featuring titles like Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, Panorama Cotton, and Chuck Rock 2, alongside a B-Mega Hot menu previewing major games such as Dragon Ball Z, Dynamite Headdy, Streets of Rage 3, and NBA Jam. A significant special report covers new hardware like the Genesis 32X and hints at the Sega Saturn, while also announcing big game releases like Shining Force CD and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The Mega CD Press focuses on new Sega CD titles, including Lunar 2, Eternal Blue, Popful Mail, Dragon's Lair, and Eye of the Beholder, even referencing Battle Fantasy from the previous page. There's also a special feature dedicated to the Game Gear. The page lists numerous regular columns covering news, reader feedback, specific games like Sonic, third-party coverage, and even a look at cheats. It promises a packed issue for Sega fans. This page delves into the latest game sales data, offering a breakdown of the top-selling titles across the Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Game Gear platforms with the Shop Data Top 15 list. The analysis notes that, while new releases are appearing, the Game Gear is showing surprising strength in sales, and popular mainstays like Puyo Puyo continue to perform well. The rankings show Shin Megami Tensei taking the top spot, a notable RPG port. Puyo Puyo appears multiple times on the chart, reflecting its enduring popularity, with the Game Gear version particularly highlighted for doing better than expected. Other high-ranking titles include Phantasy Star IV, The End of the Millennium, Yu Yu Hakusho, Makyo Toitsusen, and Microcosm. The comments provide brief thoughts on each game's performance or appeal. Below the sales chart, the Show Up Arcade Video Games Top 5 section covers the current state of the arcade scene. It highlights recent hits displayed at the AOU show. The rankings feature fierce competition among major fighting and racing titles. Virtua Fighter leads the pack, followed by Ridge Racer, Super Street Fighter 2X, Fatal Fury 2, and Final Lap R. The text comments on the strong performance of these titles and looks forward to how Super Street Fighter 2X will fare. Screenshots showcase the action from these popular arcade games. This page explores user desires for game ports and highlights anticipated new and upcoming releases for the Mega Drive. The top section features the Port Request Top 20, where users vote for games from arcades, PCs, and other systems they wish to see on the Mega Drive. Commentary notes shifts in the ranking, with Virtua Fighter climbing significantly, while Super Street Fighter 2 saw a large drop, and Sonic Drift appearing unexpectedly on the list. Screenshots of Uncharted Waters 2 and Virtua Fighter are included. The bottom half shifts focus to Mega Drive titles awaiting release. The new game's top 3 showcases the most anticipated software, with Sonic the Hedgehog 3 taking the top spot, followed by Lunar, Eternal Blue, and Urusei Yatsura, My Dear Friends, each with their points and a brief note on their appeal. Below this, the Popular Software Top 15 lists other upcoming titles and their expected release status. Finally, screenshots of Star Wars, Rebel Assault, and Dynamite Headdy provide a glimpse of these forthcoming games. This page features the BeepMD Race column, where different reviewers give their take on recent Mega Drive releases. 2 games are highlighted and reviewed: Dragon Ball Z, Bayou Retsuden, and NBA Jam. Each game gets reviewed by 4 distinct personalities: a beginner girl, a game user, a mania group, and a general game user, who provide their opinions and a unique dog-based rating gauge. The previous page showed NBA Jam as a highly anticipated upcoming title, and here we see it reviewed shortly after release. The reviewers offer varied perspectives on the gameplay and presentation of both titles, ultimately contributing to an average score shown by how many dogs are displayed. This Sega CD review column covers 4 titles. Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness, a strategy game, offers expanded content over the cartridge version, praised for its detailed map and accessible gameplay, though its flow is deemed simple. Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends, an adventure game, is lauded for its nostalgia, voice acting, and straightforward gameplay. Battle Fantasy, a fighting game, receives criticism for poor graphics, animation, balance issues, and voice acting. Eye of the Beholder, a real-time 3D dungeon crawler, is recommended for fans of classic dungeon crawlers, with praise for character creation, but notes its difficulty and limited options. This page features reviews for 4 Mega Drive titles. First is Bakuden, Unbalanced Zone, an adventure game heavily criticized for its outdated humor, excessive and dull event scenes, and unrefined system, with reviewers finding the story difficult to follow. The music was noted as a redeeming feature, but overall, it received low scores, averaging 3.75. Next is Formula One World Championship Heavenly Symphony, a racing title. It garnered praise for its impressive graphics and presentation, but was widely panned for its gameplay, described as extremely difficult and sluggish, making even basic progression frustrating. It averaged a score of 6.25. Following that is Tantor, a collection of minigames ported from the arcade. Reviewers appreciated the variety of puzzles and the ease with which games could be replayed, finding it good value for short bursts of fun, although noting it has fewer games than the arcade original. It scored an average of 7.0. Finally, there's Megami Tensei Gaiden, Last Bible, an RPG. This port from the Game Boy is considered a solid and accessible entry for fans of the genre. Praised for its substantial content, user-friendly interface, engaging scenario, and the well-executed demon negotiation and fusion systems, characteristic of the series. Despite some balance issues, it was recommended as a worthwhile purchase, earning an average score of 7.25. This page features reviews for 2 Sega Mega Drive titles. First up is GP Rider, a motorcycle racing game offering various modes like Time Attack and Grand Prix across 4 courses, featuring 3 types of bikes. While the cornering is forgiving, allowing players to focus on speed, reviewers noted difficulty in distinguishing the performance differences between the bikes, leading to a mixed average score of 5.5. Next is NBA Jam, the popular 2-on-2 basketball game featuring 54 real NBA players. It was praised for its easy controls and exciting dunk animations, but ultimately received a slightly lower average score of 5.25. The editorial section reflects on the month's releases, describing it as a bit quiet compared to previous months, particularly for Mega Drive. However, it highlights that Game Gear software is doing well, with several good and playable titles available. Commentary sections mention specific games like Dragon Ball Z on Mega Drive, noted for being difficult, and highlight Game Gear titles like Last Bible and Axe Battler as strong recommendations for the month. Overall, the sentiment suggests a relatively light month for major Mega Drive releases, offset by a strong showing on the Game Gear. This page features the latest results from the BeepMD Reader Race, where readers rate Mega Drive games, and the results are compiled like racing odds. The main section presents the current standings of various games based on reader votes and average scores. Featured as favorites, this issue are NFL Football 94 and Microcosm. NFL Football 94, ranked 17th with a reader score of 8.75, is praised for its realistic player movement, though some difficulty was noted before getting into the swing of it. Microcosm, at 34th with a reader score of 8.3846, received high marks for its impressive video sequences, but feedback pointed out its dated gameplay style and control issues. The contender section highlights Mutant League Football, ranked 154th with a reader score of 7.4, recognized for its unique, unconventional take on the sport, and Winter Olympics, ranked 171st with a reader score of 7.3, which was found to have difficult controls, particularly in the mogul event, despite decent graphics. The commentary section notes the shifting rankings, with Phantasy Star IV now holding the top spot for 3 consecutive months after Gauntlet dropped. The anticipation of upcoming major titles like vs. Bar and Streets of Rage 3 is expected to significantly shake up the standings. Finally, in the other category, NBA Playoff, Bulls vs. Blazers appears at 208th, with a reader score of 6.909. While a decent NBA game, comments mentioned the jerky character movements and outdated team data. This page delves further into the BeepMD Reader Race rankings, highlighting games that are either seen as potential dark horses or cautionary tales based on reader feedback. Featured as single favorites are Boogie Woogie Bowling at 211th, with a reader score of 6.9. A simple bowling game enjoyed for its multiplayer and spin mechanics, and Metal Fang at 257th, with a 6.4 reader score, praised for its cool graphics but criticized for being too easy and short. Under the cautionary label are Jordan vs. Bird, 1-on-1, ranked 332nd with a 5.5 reader score. While based on legendary players, reviewers found the 1-on-1 format lacking excitement compared to 3-on-3. Also featured is Yu Yu Hakusho Gaiden at 362nd with a 4.8 score, an adventure game noted for its static graphics and brief gameplay despite being based on a popular series. The page also includes a comprehensive list of games ranked by reader scores on the right side, and a section featuring various reader comments on different games and topics at the bottom. This page presents the Stable of Famous Horses feature, highlighting Advanced Daisen Ryaku, Sega's 52nd Mega Drive title. This deep simulation game, which reportedly took over 2 years to develop, plunges players into the European front of World War II. It's praised for its historical accuracy, detailed units, and expansive maps, even showing the strategic impact of the US and Soviet entry later in the war. The game received high average reader scores, reflecting its complexity and depth, despite some finding the late game particularly challenging. Reader comments highlight the impressive simulation aspects, graphics, and adjustable difficulty, noting the significant time investment required. While not released overseas due to its subject matter, the game saw multiple re-releases in Japan and was a strong domestic seller for Sega. The page also poses the question of whether this extensive development hindered the possibility of a sequel. This page reviews several games targeted at mid-range horse owners. Exclancer, a transforming mech action game, is praised for its detailed systems and varied environments, scoring 7.9426 from readers and 7.25 from writers. Party Quiz Mega Q, a quiz show simulation, is lauded for its accessible questions and robust multiplayer support. The page also promotes a desired domestic release of Tecmo Super Bowl, highlighting its overseas success. A brief update on SpaceFunky B.O.B notes its slow energy recharge. A table ranks games by BeepMD readers, listing titles, genres, and average scores. This page continues the B-Mega Reader rankings for Mega Drive games, building on the list from the previous page. The big news here is the announcement of the start of a dedicated Game Gear software reader race, prompted by the increasing popularity and quality of GG titles. The page features a list of currently highly rated Gear games from the standard reader reviews. There's also a section highlighting recommended Game Gear purchases based on reader scores, and announcing a quiz to predict the winner of the very first GG reader race. Beyond rankings, 2 prediction games are featured. One challenging readers to guess the final ranking of the upcoming Virtua Racing, potentially the Game Gear version judging by context, and another focused on predicting the average reader score for Streets of Rage 3. Finally, the editorial section looks ahead to the launch of the Sega Saturn and its eventual inclusion in rankings, as well as other significant upcoming Mega Drive releases like Virtua Racing. This page brings us worldwide Sega news, kicking off with the grand opening of Sega's indoor theme park, Garubo, in Osaka. This massive facility features impressive virtual attractions like Ghostbusters, Virtual Shooting, and Virtual Formula, with plans for another park in Yokohama later this year. Shifting to arcade news, there's a nationwide trial campaign underway for Daytona, USA, where players can compete for a chance to win exclusive goods. Sega is also set to make a big splash at the live UFO 94 event, hosting a virtual stadium area with intense tournaments for top competitive titles like Virtua Fighter and Virtua Racing. On the entertainment front, production is smoothly progressing for the anime movie adaptation of Fatal Fury 2, directed by the talented Masami Obari, aiming for a summer release. The new releases section features several exciting game music crods, including the Namco Graffiti Collection, with classics like Wonder Momo, soundtracks for Uncharted Waters 2, and various Megami Tensei titles, plus a VHS showcasing gameplay footage from Air Combat. Finally, a fun tidbit shows Capcom's sponsorship extending to the J-League, with their logo prominently featured on the Cerezo Osaka football team's uniform. This page is from B-Mega Racing Freak Volume 3, and shifts focus from gaming news to the world of Japanese racing circuits and the women who grace them. The main feature is a deep dive into the campaign girls, also known as race queens, who use their time at the track as a stepping stone into the demanding Japanese entertainment industry, becoming idols, models, actresses, and announcers. The page presents several examples, with photos showcasing their past roles as campaign girls, alongside their later careers. It highlights women like Izumi Sakai, who later became the vocalist for the massively popular band Zard, and Nakchan, known for her variety show appearances. Others featured include Naho Ogimoto, who found success as a model, and Kaoru Nakamura, active in singing and photo books. The article emphasizes that the racing circuit was a surprising but effective gateway to celebrity status for many talented individuals, showcasing their transformation from the track to the public eye across different entertainment fields. This page is dedicated to covering the J-League football season, specifically highlighting the early success of rookie striker Shoji Joe. The main feature celebrates Joe's remarkable achievement of scoring in 2 consecutive matches for Jeff United Ichihara, quickly earning him the nickname Super Rookie. The article details the match against Yokohama Flugels on March 16, which Flugels won 41, but focuses on Joe's impact despite the team's loss. It discusses the high expectations placed on Joe by fans, who are now hoping he can make it 3 consecutive goals, and what this early success signifies for his career and potential to join the national team. Smaller sections feature other notable players like Flugels' new foreign player Powell and Jeff's Franta. The page also includes a recurring feature called Mega Culcio, which appears to be a prediction contest for upcoming J-League matches, inviting readers to guess the outcomes and goal differences for selected fixtures. This page features J-League football, focusing on rookie striker Shoji Joe's consecutive goals, and a fan prediction contest. This page dives into the world of game commercials with the Beep Mega CM Detective Group. It focuses on 2 key commercials, Sonic Drift and Dragon Ball Z. Buyu Retsude. First up is the CM for the Game Gear title Sonic Drift. This 15-second spot is highlighted for its excellent mix of anime animation and CG graphics, produced by TMS Entertainment and ARMS. The screenshots show Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Dr. Eggman racing, with action shots like drifting and using items. The narration by Koichiro Hirokawa is also praised for its energy. The CM production is noted as being handled internally at TMS, aiming to accurately reflect the game itself. Following that is the commercial for Bandai's fighting game, Dragon Ball Z, Buyu Retsuden. their first venture into the Mega Drive market. This 15-second CM builds drama, showcasing key moments and characters. Screenshots display iconic characters like Frieza, Cell, and Goku, focusing on intense battles and special moves. The narrative aims to draw in general audiences, featuring popular characters prominently. While the CM provides a taste, the game itself offers even more extensive battle scenes. Finally, the page includes a call for readers to send in information about game CMS for a chance to win a free game title. This page announces the highly anticipated Genesis Super 32X, a power-up booster for the Mega Drive. Positioned as proof of Sega's commitment to the Mega Drive's longevity following the Saturn announcement, the 32X is set to arrive in the fall. The core technology utilizes the same Hitachi-developed SH2 RISC chip found in the Saturn, delivering 32-bit performance by plugging into the Mega Drive's cartridge slot. This significantly enhances capabilities, promising high-speed polygon rendering, texture mapping, shading, and advanced 3D CG expression, far surpassing the color depth of 16-bit machines. While dedicated sound chips are not confirmed, it suggests the potential for much richer audio. The page highlights the key power-up points: faster processing via the 32-bit CPU, advanced 3D graphics, color fidelity approaching next-generation consoles, and improved sound. Software will be developed specifically for the 32X, though some existing Mega Drive titles might see compatibility updates. Saturn software is not directly usable. Sega plans to sell the 32X for under 14,800 yen, targeting a significant 2.5 million units worldwide in the first year, starting with a strong push in the US market, where the Genesis is popular. The page includes illustrations showing how the unit connects to both the Mega Drive and the Mega CD, along with images of the SH2 chip and sample cartridges that might hint at its capabilities or development tools, including a clear reference to Virtua Racing's potential using DSP. This page gives us our first real look at Sega's next-generation console, the Saturn. Still provisional here. Following the announcement, we get a look at a full-size mock-up of the hardware. The design is quite different from previous Sega consoles, featuring a sleek silver body and a pop-up CD player. There's also a cartridge slot visible on the back, which is interesting. The size is noted as being similar to the 3-do reel. Key buttons for power, reset, and CD open are shown on the front, along with indicator lights for power and CD access. The controller ports look similar to the Mega Drives, though compatibility isn't confirmed yet. Further down, there's a report on a TBS News special from March 20th that surprisingly featured a demo video for the Saturn. The highlight was footage from the Saturn version of Echo the Dolphin. The description raves about the quality of the CG rendering, specifically the depiction of dolphins and the underwater environment, pointing to the impressive graphical power of the Saturn. The segment reportedly tied into broader discussions about the U.S. information superhighway and the tech industry, with Sega positioning itself within that landscape. It seems Sega was eager to showcase the potential of their new machine. This page focuses on the strong third-party support already lining up for the Sega Saturn. It highlights that nearly 150 companies are under formal contract and features comments from 6 major developers about their reasons for joining and their development status. Capcom sees technical and business merit, while Konami believes the system offers broader possibilities for entertainment. Taito gives a brief, non-committal response, but hints at an upcoming announcement. Namco is optimistic about worldwide expansion and the ease of implementing complex graphics using the hardware's capabilities. Hudson Soft is exploring independent software development and leveraging their Crydrom expertise. Bandai is excited about the system's potential for rich expression and creating new types of games. A table lists comments from other companies like GameArts and Koei, generally expressing anticipation for the hardware and its potential. Finally, the Welcome to the Next Level section outlines Sega's strategy to establish a multi-tiered hardware lineup, with the Mega Drive as an entry-level system, the Mega CD and Super 32X providing intermediate upgrades, and the Saturn positioned as a completely new dimension in gaming, emphasizing Sega's commitment to this ecosystem. This page presents a special report on Shining Force CD for the Mega CD. The main visual is a vibrant illustration of characters from the fantasy tactical RPG series. The report announces that Sega's popular Shining Force tactical RPG series is coming to Mega CD. This release is a remake compiling the 2 Game Gear titles, Shining Force Gaiden and Shining Force Gaiden 2. The Sword of Hagia. It emphasizes that this isn't just a simple port, but a powered-up version that incorporates strategic elements similar to the main Shining Force games, and includes new scenarios and elements. The improved enemy AI, allowing indirect magic attacks, is mentioned as an example of enhancements that exceed even Shining Force 2 on the Mega Drive. The article praises the short access times on the Mega CD, making it feel like playing from room, and highlights that both the content and system are expected to be highly satisfying. The page also includes a special interview with Mr. Hideki Takahashi and Mr. Tatsuhiro Taguchi from Sonic, likely Sonic Software Planning, key developers for the series. They discuss the significant changes and upgrades made for the CD version, stressing that the play feel is completely different from the original Game Gear titles. They mention the upgraded enemy AI, and their aim to deliver a game that feels fresh and matches their current development level, while still respecting the series' legacy. This Shining Force CD feature introduces the game's story, set 20 years after Shining Force 1. Entry's peaceful reign in Guardiana is shattered by a treacherous gift from Cyprus, sending the Shining Force on a quest. Character profiles are given for Wendy, Jade, and Apis, key characters from the Shining Force I lineage. Screenshots show shipboard battles and a throne room scene. Developers discuss the evolution from the Gear games, emphasizing enhanced elements and a shift towards more engaging battles, influenced by player feedback. The next page continues the deep dive into Shining Force CD. The top section highlights the dynamic day-night cycle within the game, emphasizing that enemies can attack at any time, making it impossible to relax even at night. Screenshots showcase the battlefield under the daytime sun and the same area transformed at night, with the background becoming darker and stars appearing, adding to the atmosphere. Below this is Character Collection Volume 2 for the game, introducing more members of the Shining Force. Featured characters include Roos, a trainee warrior of the Hobbit tribe, Sig, a mage capable of handling gongs and magic, Balbaroi, a birdman and resistance member, Isha, a female resistance member from Cyprus, and Domingo, a mysterious magical creature. The bottom section continues the developer discussion from the previous page, featuring Mr. Taguchi and Mr. Takahashi. They talk about the immense volume of the game and the significant effort put into the sound quality, which takes up a large portion of the CD space. The music composer specifically aimed for sound quality comparable to an audio CD, resulting in a high number of tracks. The developers also discuss aiming to create a game that feels faster than ROM-based titles and the challenges overcome during development to achieve this, utilizing the capabilities of the Mega CD. The next page continues the detailed look at Shining Force CD, specifically the second scenario, Awakening of the Evil God. This scenario acts as a sequel to the first, Towards the Evil God's Country, but is designed to be playable independently. The page highlights the evolution of the battle scenes, noting improvements like the inclusion of indirect attacks. Screenshots showcase the dynamic combat, depicting character sprites engaged in battle, complete with HP and MP displays. Another screenshot shows a top-down map view of Cyprus, detailing a key plot point where the Sword of Ruin is stolen while the army is away. The character collection section introduces characters from this second scenario. Featured are the protagonist, who is Nick, described as a trainee warrior leading the force, Natasha, the sweetheart of the Cyprus prince and a strong-willed magic user, and Aaron, a trainee warrior with practical ability but lacking self-awareness. The developer interview with Mr. Taguchi and Mr. Takahashi concludes, discussing the massive data volume of Shining Force CD, which they state surpasses even Shining Force 2 by 4 to 5 times, simply in data size. They touch upon the decision not to include anime visual scenes, explaining their desire to preserve the player's personal image of characters like an Autry, and the challenges of incorporating voice acting for all the many events without requiring an impractical number of creds. They emphasize that while the scenarios are linked, Awakening of the Evil God is a complete and enjoyable experience on its own. The next page dives further into the world of Shining Force CD. It highlights the impressive variety of battlefields found throughout the Shining Force Gaiden series, now compiled and enhanced for the Mega CD. The screenshots showcase different environments, from port towns and forests to what appear to be indoor locations, emphasizing how distinct areas become strategic battle maps. The Awakening of the Evil God character collection continues, introducing 4 more members of the cast for this second scenario. We see Angela, a swift centaur knight, Bill, a sturdy monk who travels with Aaron and Kraid, Barry, a powerful winged warrior who participated in the previous expedition, and the legendary secret character, Musashi the Samurai, hailing from a distant land. Finally, the page teases a big reveal of mysterious maps not present in the original Game Gear, Shining Force Gaiden games. Screenshots display what appear to be non-combat event scenes, one outside a strange building with a grave and disturbed ground, and another showing an indoor party scene with numerous food items laid out. The text ponders the meaning of these scenes, noting their unusual nature and hinting at new content unique to the Mega CD version, building anticipation for the game's release. This page features a special report on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It highlights the game's emergency release, a significantly reduced price of 5,800 yen, and notes that the cartridge size was changed to 16 mega, matching the American version. The report focuses on leveraging the game's new features, specifically the backup save function and the character selection. Players can choose to play as Sonic alone, Tails alone, or with both Sonic and Tails. A notable feature mentioned is that upon clearing all zones, players unlock a zone select option and can revisit special stages to collect any missed Chaos Emeralds, similar to Sonic 2. The page also details the merits and demerits of playing as Sonic or Tails. Sonic's strength lies in utilizing the various shield types effectively, but he cannot fly alone or swim underwater. Tails' primary merit is his ability to fly, though using the jump button mid-air for flight prevents the secondary effects of shields from activating. Ultimately, the report declares Tails' biggest merit is simply how cute he is. Screenshots show gameplay, character art, and the new save selection screen. Sonic the Hedgehog 3's competitive modes are explored, focusing on Grand Prix, Match Race, and Time Attack. Grand Prix involves racing through 5 zones for 5 laps, awarding victory to the player with the fastest overall time across all zones. Match Race is a head-to-head race in a single selected zone, allowing for quick matches with item use. Time Attack pits players against the clock, saving records for personal challenges. The page compares Sonic's speed, Tails' acceleration, and Knuckles' balanced handling in these modes. Screenshots illustrate zone selection, race results, and the game's tracking of lap and total times. The specific competitive zones, like Azure Lake and Desert Palace, are also highlighted. The next page delves into the core characters driving the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, all gathered on the mysterious floating island. The headline sets the stage, describing the island continuing its journey with the intentions of these 4 individuals. The page is dedicated to introducing Sonic, Tails, Drive, Eggman, and the newcomer, Knuckles the Echidna. Each character gets a profile, detailing their role and personality, accompanied by multiple screenshots showing them in action across various zones, including the challenging bonus stages. We see Sonic, our renowned hero, known for his love of cool moves and incredible speed. Tails, his trusted sidekick, is highlighted for his flying ability and growing popularity. Dr. Eggman, the eternal rival, is shown with his various contraptions, relentlessly pursuing the Chaos Emeralds, despite being a genius scientist. Finally, Knuckles is introduced as the guardian of the Master Emerald, skilled at digging and mistakenly believing Sonic is the villain, a survivor of an ancient island civilization. The screenshots provide a visual tour of the game's diverse environments and boss encounters. A brief message from Sega is also included, touching on the game's pricing strategy during an economic downturn, aiming to make it accessible for more players to enjoy. This page effectively sets the scene and introduces the key players involved in the thrilling adventure on the floating island, following up nicely on the previous discussion of the game's competitive gameplay. This page presents a special report on the Hybrid Front, a unique science fiction simulation game for the Mega Drive. It highlights the game's focus on a hard-boiled story, setting it apart from typical strategy simulations by Sega. The report notes that while it inherits the system of advanced Daisen Ryaku, a major feature is the character design by Suehiro Maruo and scenario supervision by Akihiro Noda. The game immerses players in a narrative where a small group of porters confront a powerful, mysterious enemy force. It promises beautiful battle scenes with visuals and sound that match the SF cyber atmosphere, showing units and characters engaging in combat where the graphics change based on damage. The story unfolds excitingly as players clear maps, with reading the background narrative deepening the experience. Furthermore, unique NPCs join the player's team as companions mid-scenario, adding a human touch through dialogue messages displayed during support events. The game is listed as a Sega title with an undecided release date and price, formatted as a strategy simulation, SLG, using 16 meters plus BB. This page delves into the core gameplay loop of the Hybrid Front, focusing on the battle preparation and map screens. The game flow is presented as a flowchart, moving from scenario start through preparation and map deployment before entering battle. The preparation phase involves assigning characters to units and checking unit performance. The map screen is where units are deployed and commands are issued, with narrative events displayed below the map. Screenshots demonstrate these phases, showing menus for unit and character assignment, detailed unit statistics, and the strategic map view with command options and unit movement ranges. The page then highlights the first scenario, Silk Road of Smoke, detailing its objectives: escape at least 3 friendly units or defeat the enemy commander. The scenario is challenging, featuring numerous enemy units including hoverbikes, armored vehicles, infantry, and even a battleship shown in detail. The crucial strategy for this scenario is to avoid direct combat due to overwhelming enemy numbers, and instead utilize the map's terrain to escape. The enemy commander, Kazern, is also pictured. The page lists the types of units present for the player, NPCs, and the enemy in Scenario 1. This page provides a practical look at the Hybrid Front's interface and challenges, using the first scenario as a specific example of the tactical situations players will face. This page features a special report on Star Wars Rebel Assault. This game is presented as an original shooting game based on the iconic Star Wars movies, specifically drawing inspiration from the first part of the trilogy. Developed by LucasArts, the quality is highlighted as being assured. Players take on the role of a rookie recruit joining the Rebel Alliance, embarking on a mission to destroy the Imperial secret weapon. The report showcases the game through several chapter breakdowns and accompanying screenshots. Chapter 1 focuses on flight training in environments like hangars and canyons. Chapter 2 involves asteroid field training, where players evade celestial bodies and engage targets. Chapter 3, Planet Colidor, continues the canyon flying theme, requiring players to avoid obstacles. Chapter 4 depicts a Star Destroyer attack, showing the massive Imperial vessel and cockpit views of the engagement, where players must destroy its systems. Darth Vader makes an appearance related to this section. Finally, Chapter 5 covers a Tatooine attack targeting a rebel base, culminating in the destruction of TIE fighters and leading to a bonus stage. Familiar faces like C-3PO and R2-D2 are also pictured alongside the main text. This page features a special report on Langrisser 2, developed by Messiah and set for a late August 1994 release. This simulation RPG for the Mega Drive is priced at 9,800 yen, and utilizes a 16 megabit cartridge with battery backup. The page showcases striking artwork of a central female character alongside multiple screenshots highlighting the game's various scenarios, from tactical map views showing unit placement and movement, to dynamic battle scenes depicting 10 vs 10 engagements. Dialogue boxes featuring character portraits like the protagonist Elwyn are also displayed. The report emphasizes the game's significantly improved visuals compared to its predecessor, promising more detailed graphics and exciting gameplay as development progresses. This page features a scramble of upcoming Mega Drive software, highlighting some exciting new releases. Included in this roundup are games like Sailor Moon, Panorama Cotton, Greatest Heavyweights, Wimbledon, Chuck Rock 2, and Zool. First up is Sailor Moon, an action game from Maruba, scheduled for a July release. While based on the Super Famicom version, this Mega Drive port is upgraded with improved graphics and action patterns. Special moves have increased and now require command input, and it features 6 stages of gameplay. Currently 80% complete, it looks like the Sailor Guardians are ready to deliver justice on the Mega Drive. Below that is Panorama Cotton, a vertical scrolling shoot-'em-up from Sunsoft, also planned for a July release. This game is noted for its impressive technical achievements, featuring clear voice samples and noteworthy 3D graphics that contribute to an excellent sense of speed. The game has had little information revealed lately, but is now confirmed to include an opening demo and uses a substantial 20 megabit cartridge. It's currently 60% complete, and fans are eagerly anticipating its release. This page details more upcoming Sega Mega Drive games. Greatest Heavyweights is a boxing game featuring 8 legendary heavyweights, including Ali and Holyfield, and player-created characters. Wimbledon Championship Tennis allows single and doubles matches on the Wimbledon courts, with character progression. Chuck Rock 2, Son of Chuck continues the action series, with a powerful club attack and battling giant bosses. Zool. Ninja of the Nth Dimension is an American action game, where a ninja from another dimension must clear 6 stages to return home. The page also previews new releases around August 3rd, including Shining Force 2, Mortal Kombat, a soccer game, and Game Gear versions of Super Variable Geo and Alien 3. The next page is all about Dragon Ball Z, Baiyu Retsuden on the Mega Drive. This fighting game brings the incredibly popular manga series to the console, focusing on intense one-on-one battles against either a friend or the computer. The content encourages players to delve in and discover various special moves and secret techniques. The page breaks down strategies for several iconic characters. Goku relies on connecting powerful attack chains, while Piccolo prefers a hit-and-run approach with ranged attacks like the Sonic Kick and Dash Elbow. Gohan's tactics involve explosive combos leading into a burst straight. Vegeta also uses a Hitandaway style, employing his slash, arrow, and elbow attack to wear down opponents. The layout is filled with striking character artwork and dynamic in-game screenshots showcasing the action. This page continues the Dragon Ball Z, Baiyu Retsuden guide, focusing on mastering spacing, throw counters, enjoying story mode, and providing character strategies for Trunks, Android 18, Cell, and Krillin. Understanding and controlling the distance between yourself and your opponent is absolutely crucial in this game, along with knowing the range of your own character's moves. Don't just rely on special attacks. Close quarters combat with throws is also important. The gauge line at the top changes color based on distance, from no gauge, far, to red, mid, and black, close, which can even be a condition for certain moves. Also, mastering how to recover quickly after being thrown is essential for survival. The story mode offers unique branching narratives depending on the character you choose, with interesting paths for characters like Cell and Android 18. Delving into character specifics, Trunks is great with combos initiated from throws, utilizing moves like Burst Punch and the aerial slash down kick. Android 18's standout move is her critical attack, complemented by her dash elbow, dash attack, and slash dance. Cell, similar to Vegeta, favors a Hitandaway style, effectively using his Grand Slider and rising attack. Finally, Krillin has solid anti-air options with his Kamehameha and down attack, and chaining Kamehameha attacks is a key strategy. His solar flare is also a highly useful tool. This page continues the guide for Dragon Ball Z, Baiyu Retsuden, delving into the spectacle of demo special moves and advanced combat techniques. The main focus here is mastering the cinematic demo special moves, which are described as a core appeal of the game. The guide emphasizes that timing and distance are critical for landing these powerful finishers, often only possible when the opponent is momentarily stunned and cannot dodge. It explains how the distance gauge impacts moves, noting that the black state, close range, is generally required for demo special moves. Misjudging the distance can result in less effective attacks or leave you vulnerable. The page also covers crucial defensive tactics against enemy attacks, detailing how to erase, easy, repel, medium difficulty, a direct counter, or avoid, hardest complete evasion, incoming projectiles. Individual character strategies are provided for Frieza, Ginyu, and Rikum. Frieza is highlighted as a Hitandaway character, effectively using his tail cut and combining head and elbow attacks while maintaining distance. Ginyu's dynamite punch is featured, noting its ability to connect even if slightly off target, good for chipping away health, especially when combined with dash elbows. Rikum is described as tricky but powerful, relying on moves like energy defense, power bomb, and crush down, best utilized in close combat. Finally, the guide assures players that by mastering the fundamental techniques presented, even the challenging super difficulty can be conquered. A note from the developer mentions hidden special moves for each character that deal significant damage. This page introduces Outrunners for the Sega Mega Drive. It highlights the game's impressive content, featuring a total of 30 courses with a focus here on the 15 West Side routes, showcasing a variety of scenic backdrops from deserts to cities and coasts. The game offers two distinct modes: Arcade Mode, where players race against calm opponents across global stages that differ slightly from west to east, and Original Mode, a 1P exclusive with short courses and challenging rivals that appear upon victory. Screenshots display the split-screen two-player mode, different cars, and the diverse environments found on the courses. The developer comments on the fun of split-screen racing, the beautiful scenery that enhances the driving feel, the stylish music, and the ability to select BGM during gameplay, suggesting it's particularly well-suited for couples. This page features the action platformer Dynamite Headdy. It dives into the game's unique world populated by puppet characters, highlighting its clever design and rising popularity. The article specifically focuses on the latter half of Stage 2 and beyond, showcasing key events and bosses. Screenshots reveal Maruyama, a recurring character, appearing with transformed body parts, eventually turning into the octopus trap boss. Following this, a huge multi-part boss called Bounty is shown. After its defeat, a mysterious female character appears, who seemingly steals a key. The page questions if she might also be a puppet due to her hand detaching. The section concludes with Hetty facing the hall's master, who attacks from above with various weapons. A column provides insight into the game's technical aspects, particularly the sound system. It discusses significant improvements made by programmer Kambanwa to the audio engine, promising clearer sound quality compared to standard setups. The inclusion of voice acting is also mentioned, with a photo featuring 2 staff members, one of whom is noted as Hetty's voice actor, adding personality to the game. The game was still under development, with a completion rate of 60% at this time. This page continues the look at the action platformer Dynamite Heady, focusing on new stages and revealing more about the game's quirky puppet characters and story. It describes the slippery and precarious Stage 31, where Hetty faces the Emperor's returning soldiers and the persistent Maruyama, who attacks in bizarre ways, even emerging from backstage areas of the level. A cartoon strip humorously depicts a battle between Hetty and Maruyama. The core of the page is a summary of the characters introduced so far, including Hetty's friends, the Helper Trio, the recurring nuisance Maruyama, and the mysterious Fingy, who took a key after a previous boss fight, and whose true identity remains unknown, deepening the game's narrative mystery. The main antagonist, the shadowy Emperor King Dark Demon, is also featured, though his true form is hidden. Finally, a character named Mr. Treasure appears in a town screenshot, acting as a sort of commentator, looking forward to the game's release. The article concludes by confirming that the dangerous cave stage is cleared, and teases the next month's feature as the final chapter of coverage. This page kicks off the Sega AM2 R&D department. Number 2 corner, presenting previously unreleased development materials for the groundbreaking CG fighting game, Virtua Fighter. The feature focuses on the protagonist, Akira Yuki, showcasing his evolution through various polygon test models, starting from a simple 100 polygon figure, progressing to the 600 polygon Red Fighter, and a Baji Quan user model, and finally arriving at the 18,002,000 polygon Akira version 1. It details how these early models were crucial for simulating movement and checking basic game elements. Also featured is a striking, dynamic illustration of Akira by Katsuya Terada, shown here for the first time. The article notes that other character illustrations are also underway. The bottom section highlights the ongoing work on CG image boards for promotional materials, displaying renders and wireframes of Akira and Pai-chan, mentioning the challenges in perfecting polygon adjustments, especially for female characters like Pai. This first installment provides an exciting glimpse into the technical and artistic process behind the creation of Virtua Fighter's iconic characters. This page kicks off with the creator room featuring Yu Suzuki, the manager of AM2 R&D. He dives into the significance of the new Model 2 arcade hardware and the future of CG games. He explains that Model 2 represents a huge leap from the Model 1 board used for titles like Virtua Racing. Model 1 could push out about 180,000 polygons per second with flat shading. Model 2, however, introduces capabilities like Whiz texture mapping, allowing for much more realistic graphics by applying photo data directly onto polygons. Yu Suzuki notes that while they considered techniques like garage shading, the current focus with Model 2 is on maximizing polygon counts for density and detail, as shading techniques can be quite processing intensive. Daytona USA is highlighted as the first game to fully utilize this new Model 2 power, showcasing its incredible visuals. He confirms AM2 and other Sega teams are already working on more titles for the new board. Also on this page, there's an update on the Time Attack contest for the Mega Drive version of Virtua Racing, showing some current top times. And the AM2 R&D corner is looking for fan mail, questions, opinions, and illustrations, with chances to win cool prizes like Virtua Fighter staff jackets, featuring an illustration of Sarah Bryant. Finally, there's a separate brief announcement celebrating the arrival of Daytona USA in arcades, emphasizing its groundbreaking stock car racing action on Model 2 and its catchy Buniv theme song. This page is a community newsletter from Compile, titled Nokonetsu Shinbun, dated April 8, 1994. It's packed with content for fans, centering around the popular Puyo Puyo series. The main feature is a fun, one-shot manga celebrating Puyo Puyo 2, Puyo Puyo 2, featuring beloved characters like Arle Naja and Carbuncle in humorous everyday scenarios. It touches on their ages and activities, giving a lighthearted look at their world. There's also an update on the ongoing Puyo Puyo character popularity poll, mentioning that Carbuncle is currently leading the pack, much to the surprise, and perhaps dismay, of fans of other characters like Draco, who seems to have slipped down the rankings. The voting method has been tweaked, and the next update will reveal the top 5. The newsletter encourages fan participation through a points system for submitted contributions, with Puyo Puyo-themed merchandise listed as prizes for hitting different point milestones. Various sections showcase reader-submitted artwork, messages, and quirky observations, demonstrating the strong fan engagement with Compile and their games. Finally, they're running a questionnaire asking for feedback on the newsletter itself and awareness of the Compile fan club, offering a special sticker as a thank you for participation. It's a lively page fostering the connection between Compile and its dedicated player base. This page welcomes readers to Beeple's Land, noting that the new season brings fresh starts like school entry, but mentions they somehow missed the timing for something, suggesting something might happen around the next issue. The Funky Letters Station Megatalk section features reader letters and responses from DJ equals Namo. Readers share personal anecdotes like accidentally cutting a finger while building a model kit, hindering gameplay, or a funny story about buying MegaDrive software via mail order. One letter specifically asks about a high school girl MegaDrive user plan, and if loving games like Sylphid and Rent a Hero qualifies someone, which Nemo finds amusing and comments on. Another reader notes their worsening eyesight affecting gaming, realizing how much less time they spent on games compared to studying for exams. This month's BGM section focuses on music related to Sonic the Hedgehog, recommending specific tracks or artists like Bakaslump's Runner and Yamamoto Kudaru's Hasher Kudaru, suggesting they are suitable BGM for gameplay due to their association with speed. Finally, the prompt for the next issue's topic is shown, featuring Echo the Dolphin, indicating a focus likely related to this game's ambient style or themes. This page opens with the Sega Elder Health Meeting, a section where readers share their thoughts and experiences with Sega games, particularly focusing on older systems. Readers comment on titles like the Pro Yaku, professional baseball, on the Master System, praising its physics despite it being an older game. Zaxxon is also mentioned, with readers recalling its unique isometric viewpoint and challenging gameplay, highlighting how innovative it felt at the time. There's discussion about the transition between Sega's early systems like the SG-1000 and the Master System, Mark IIY, and finding old game software and related goods. The page features a description of the game Drawl, a horizontal scrolling shooter originally for early Sega systems. It involves a robot protagonist rescuing creatures, including Mama, across different stages. A screenshot and character art for Drawl are included, illustrating its colorful look and characters. Towards the bottom, a section introduces fan-created Mega Drive slangs, defining terms coined by players to describe common situations or phenomena related to the console and its games. There's also a brief hint at a mysterious new project in the works. This page continues the Sega Elder Health Meeting, featuring more questions and answers submitted by readers. They share valuable tips and tricks for classic Sega games. Readers provide methods for continuing in games like Teddy Boy Blues and Alex Kidd, Miracle World on the Master System, and discuss the effects of buying all items in Fantasy Zone. Several detailed strategies and command inputs are shared for Space Harrier, including accessing a sound test and continuing from the Game Over screen, even mentioning how to play Space Harrier 3D without the 3D glasses. Tips for accessing option modes in games like YS and what appears to be Gauntlet are also included. Other sections touch upon details about the Mega Drive Dragon Ball Z game's subtitle, the ongoing manga El Viento, and general Sega-related gossip. The page also includes an information section, soliciting reader submissions for interesting stories, illustrations, game slang, and new project ideas, serving as a community hub. A manga strip titled Mega Drive Mania Theory adds a humorous visual element to the page. This page features various reader submissions. In this month's argument, readers discuss their love for the Genesis/Mega Drive, often citing the appeal of playing arcade hits like Space Harrier and Afterburner at home, and express anticipation for the upcoming Sega Saturn. Some recent Sega CD owners feel a bit conflicted about the new console. The Ask Saturn Sama section collects reader wishes for the Saturn, including requests for controller compatibility with existing peripherals and stronger advertising campaigns. The Megaways section features readers discussing the Genesis/Mega Drive and the upcoming Saturn. One reader hopes Sega promotes the Saturn purely as a game console, appreciating how the PlayStation is positioning itself. One Word from Beeple contains short, diverse messages from readers, covering topics like graduation, getting jobs, thoughts on games like Echo the Dolphin, and other personal notes. The Theme for July issue and I Love Namco sections ask readers to send messages and love calls to Namco, requesting game ports and other feedback. Finally, Illustration City showcases reader artwork, including fan art for Lunar 2, Eternal Blue. This page features AR's Voice, a reader opinion column where fans share their thoughts on the game industry and Sega. Readers express diverse views, including a longtime fan who wishes Sega's advertising would highlight the appeal of their software rather than just hardware specifications. Discussions touch upon the future of gaming, the importance of creating long-selling titles with strong gameplay and characters, citing games like Virtua Racing/Fighter. One reader praises the humor and unexpected depth of Rent a Hero. Another reader comments on the types of games available on the Mega Drive, asking about the lack of certain genres. The page also includes fan art depicting characters from Sonic the Hedgehog, Shining Force, Virtua Fighter, and a game called Aya. A correction notes that Daytona GP mentioned in a previous article should have been Daytona USA, and corrects the title for Virtua Racing. This page features Planet Sega Stadium, Issue 5, presented by Sega, continuing the interaction with readers. A section titled Sega Stadium Requests for Difficult Times includes reader feedback, with one person proposing a corner called Sega, You Idiot, for complaints. Another reader shares a peculiar trick allowing Mega CD music to continue playing when a Mega Drive cartridge is inserted and the system reset. The page also reviews the boxing game Cutie, Q/Ring Angel, highlighting its sound effects and gameplay. There are discussions about the evolution of game graphics towards realism and the future potential of gaming. Fan art is featured, including a character from Sparkster and illustrations related to Phantasy Star and original characters, alongside various reader comments and small teases. This page introduces the brand new corner, MegaDrive, hosted by the voice actress Megumi Hayashibara. This month's feature sees Megumi-chan challenging Sega's Takizaki-san to a battle across various Sega arcade games at the Roppongi Gigo arcade. The games included the popular puzzle game Puyo Puyo, the groundbreaking fighting game Virtua Fighter, the racing classic Outrunners, and the immersive Daytona USA. Despite expectations that Takizaki would dominate, Megumi surprised everyone with her skills, particularly securing wins in Outrunners and Daytona USA, leading to an exciting 22 draw overall. The corner is actively seeking reader submissions for future content ideas. Also highlighted are upcoming segments on the weekly Joy tele-broadcast, including Mr. Nagata discussing Virtua Racing, and planned features on the new Sega Fax Club and the highly anticipated Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This page features the Treasure Factory Corner number 12, which highlights the development process of Treasure's games. The main feature unveils the top-secret development notebook for Dynamite Headdy, showcasing where the ideas and specifications for the game originated, led by Mr. Kawauchi. It mentions other related notebooks used during development, a short comic strip, and various sketches related to the development process or game concepts are also included. The network section showcases reader illustrations this month, apologizing for the lack of extensive content beyond art. Featured fan submissions include dynamic drawings and a comic strip centered around Dynamite Headdy, as well as illustrations of Gunstar Heroes characters, reflecting the passion and support from the readers. This page features an industry lecture titled Industry Lecture That Becomes Useless, by Mr. Maeda, the company president. He discusses the evolution of the game industry, noting its past chaotic period and current transition towards stability. He emphasizes that further stability requires more time, highlighting the increase in users and the natural selection of game companies, with poor quality software producers disappearing. Producing quality software is deemed crucial. Adjacent to this is a comic strip featuring Treasure characters experiencing the stresses of work, depicting tiredness and the desire for rest and drinks after a long day. There's a recommendation section featuring the book Black Tulip by Kazumi Tuju, described as a dark thriller about a man transformed into a cyborg called Black Tulip, who fights against an evil organization. The reviewer expresses admiration for the author. The page also introduces Etsuko from Treasure's Public Relations Department in her new column, Pukuichi. She talks about her column as a way to express her personality, as a newcomer to the industry, and mentions meeting someone from Treasure previously featured in the magazine. Finally, there's a section encouraging readers to send in postcards with their thoughts and impressions. This page features the 17th installment of the Konami user hotline column, Konami's Room, by T. Hayasaka. The column opens with a personal update about Hayasaka receiving helpful diet advice from readers. She then discusses a planned game announcement that was delayed and apologizes for any disappointment, mentioning internal meetings regarding the next title's development and promotion, which includes the character Sparkster from the Rocket Knight Adventure series. The main focus is a large exhibition showcasing reader-submitted illustrations for the Picno 2 contest, Hayasaka and Sparkster, Illustration Grand Exhibition. The page is filled with various fan artworks depicting Sparkster, Hayasaka, and possibly characters from Picno 2. Each drawing is accompanied by comments from the author. The column concludes by announcing that winners of the Picno 2 contest will receive prizes in late April. It also teases exciting news and hints at a future project or contest involving drawing a new Sparkster, encouraging readers who participated to look forward to it. The mailing address for submissions is provided for future reader interaction. This page features a detailed look at the Free-One racing game Heaven Symphony, touting it as having the fastest Free-One realism ever. Released on Keydrom on March 23, this game is a collaboration between Fuji TV's Free-One broadcasting team and Sega's racing game expertise, aiming for unprecedented realism based on actual Free-One data. The article highlights the game's oversight by Fuji TV pit reporter Toshihito Kawai. It describes 3 main modes: a comprehensive Grand Prix mode simulating the full 4-1 season with team contracts, a 1993 mode recreating specific historical race scenarios for advanced players, and a free run mode for practice and time trials on all circuits with customizable settings. Screenshots showcase the game's visual style and UI. The content emphasizes the game's depth and realistic approach to the sport. This page provides a detailed guide to the high-tech Formula One machines of the 1993 season featured in the game Heaven Symphony. It serves as a reference for players tackling the Grand Prix mode, introducing each team and their car. The layout presents each team with details on the owner, various directors and managers, the specific car model, engine, and fuel supplier, alongside a brief description highlighting the car's key features or performance during the season. Notable cars covered include the dominant Williams FW15C, the McLaren MP4/8 with its Ford engine, the compact Benetton B193B, and the Ferrari F93A. Other teams like Ligier, Lotus, Sauber, Minardi, Larousse, Footwork, Tyrrell, Lola, and Jordan are also featured, with notes on their engines like Renault V10, Lamborghini V12, Mugen Honda V10, Yamaha V10, and Hart V10, and comments on their performance or design characteristics. A special section highlights the game's attention to detail in engine sounds. It explains that the sounds are recorded from real cars and vary depending on the engine type, specifically mentioning Renault V10, Ferrari V12, and Ford V8 sounds. Despite potential limitations of the Mega Drive sound source, the game aims for realism, encouraging players to listen closely to the distinct engine notes during free-run sessions. This page is an essential resource for understanding the machinery behind the 1993 F1 season depicted in the game. This page dives into the Grand Prix mode of Heavenly Symphony, Formula One World Championship 1993, covering the crucial elements for success. It explains the contract system, detailing the target lap times needed on the practice course to earn a spot with top teams like Williams. It also breaks down the car settings, explaining what each adjustment for tires, handling, wings, steering, and transmission affects, and advising beginners to trust their team's setup initially before experimenting. A key point highlighted is the contract renewal system, where performance targets must be met every 4 races to avoid being fired. The page then focuses on the first race of the season at Kyalami, providing track data, a map, and specific advice on navigating tricky corners like Westbank. Gameplay screenshots illustrate the track and setting screens, giving players a visual guide. It also includes a note about a memorable event from the real 1993 Kyalami race, adding a touch of realism. This section is essential reading to get a handle on the game's career mode and the challenge of the first circuit. The Grand Prix mode continues with 3 more races. The José Carlos Pace circuit in Brazil, known for long straights and technical sections, presents a high-difficulty challenge, with unpredictable weather impacting the 1993 race. Donington Park in the UK, a medium difficulty track with elevation changes and tight corners, also saw weather influence the 1993 race. Finally, the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola, a medium difficulty track with high-speed corners, highlights crucial braking points, and the 1993 race's rain-affected victory for Alain Proust. The next page continues the Grand Prix Tour, covering rounds 5 through 7 of the championship. First up is the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain, described as modern, with its long straight and U-turn corner highlighting car setup differences. It's rated 3 stars difficulty. Advice suggests shortcutting the Nissan corner and braking gently for the Elf corner. The 1993 race section notes Prost's dominant pole and win despite an initial challenge. Next is the legendary Monaco Grand Prix street circuit. This is the most glamorous but also the most demanding public road course. It's rated 4 stars difficulty. Advice points out the tricky rail resistance on the sides and the crucial braking point after the tunnel into the chicane. The 1993 highlight focuses on Ayrton Senna's famous win. Finally, the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada is featured, a beautiful permanent course on an island, known for its bumpy surface. It has a 2-star difficulty rating. Tips mention the challenging hairpins requiring slow entry, and the chicanes near the start-finish line. The 1993 race saw Proust win despite a penalty stop, while Senna charged through the field from 8th. This page covers the next 3 circuits from the 1993 Formula One season. Round 8 is the French Grand Prix at Magny-Cours, a mid-to-high-speed circuit known for corners named after other tracks. It's rated 3 stars difficulty, with advice focusing on strategic braking and speed carry through specific turns. The 1993 race saw a Williams 12, pleasing local engine supplier Renault. Next is Round 9, the British Grand Prix at the historic Silverstone. This high-speed track, built on an old airfield, is known for its difficulty and setup and is rated 4 stars. Overtaking is highlighted at Stowe Corner after the Hangar Straight. And the 1993 race saw Prost take his 50th win, while local hero Damon Hill aimed for a strong finish. Finally, Round 10 is the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim, a true high-speed test where cars reach over 340 km per hour, demanding durability. It has a surprisingly low 1-star difficulty rating. Overtaking is possible at a jump curve and the chicanes. The 1993 race saw Prost win again, with local favorite Michael Schumacher finishing second despite a penalty, pushing hard through traffic in the closing laps. The next page continues the look at the 1993 Formula One season circuits, covering rounds 11 through 13. First up is the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix, a technical track with many corners and low average speed. Rated 1 star. The advice suggests focusing on precise cornering over outright straight-line speed. The 1993 race saw Damon Hill take his first win, and Gerhard Berger finish third, showing signs of recovery. Next is the legendary Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. This high-speed circuit is known for its significant elevation changes, unpredictable weather, and challenging corners like Eau Rouge, earning it a 4-star difficulty rating. The advice emphasizes mastering key corners like La Source and Eau Rouge. In 1993, Hill secured his 2nd consecutive win here, confirming Williams as Constructors' champions. Finally, we have the historic Monza circuit for the Italian Grand Prix. A high-speed test, it's rated 3 stars difficulty. The advice highlights the need for braking into several corners and strategic use of the overtake button. The 1993 race saw Jean Alesi thrilling the local crowd with a 2nd-place finish, while Hill achieved his 3rd consecutive victory, though Alain Prost maintained his championship lead. The next page wraps up the look at the 1993 Formula One circuits, covering the final 3 rounds. First is Estoril for the Portuguese Grand Prix, the last European race of the season. Known for dramatic past events, the circuit saw some resurfacing in 1993, reducing bumps but keeping its tight, high lateral corners challenging for drivers. The advice points out key corners that need braking, and others where you can go flat out. Rated 3 stars, the 1993 race was notable for Alain Prost announcing his retirement, and Michael Schumacher taking the win. Next up is Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix, a technical high-speed track that returned to the calendar in 1987 and is Honda's home. It's a tough one where setup and driver skill directly impact lap times. The advice notes that overtaking is difficult, the chicane requires careful braking, and the scurvs need a rhythmic approach. This 4-star challenge saw a dramatic 1993 race, with Ayrton Senna taking victory after Prost retired. Finally, Adelaide hosts the season-ending Australian Grand Prix. This street circuit, a mix of permanent track and city roads, is relatively wide but filled with stopand GO corners, making it physically demanding. The advice highlights braking timing and rhythm for corners, and finding time on the straights. The 4-star difficult 1993 finale was the highly anticipated Senna vs. Prost showdown, with Senna winning as Prost retired, marking the end of their rivalry. This page dives into fan communication, highlighting a special feature where readers voted on who they thought would be the best partner for Bowie, the hero of Shining Force 2. Sarah came out on top. The page is filled with fan art and messages from supporters of the Sarah faction, celebrating her popularity alongside Bowie. There's also a section featuring more unconventional pairings and ideas, though it playfully warns against heresy within the Good Kids Force series. Other fan mail confirms the strong popularity of Sarah, as well as other Shining Force 2 characters like Twiggy and Sheila. The upcoming theme for submissions is designing outfits for a character, and the note mentions that swimwear designs for these 3 popular characters are expected to be very competitive. The page also includes a personal note from a staff member, Hanako Okada, who shares the news of her marriage, adding a touch of personal connection to the fan community. This page features the Page Jack section, where third-party developers take over a page to promote their upcoming games on the Mega Drive. First up is the Bandai section, highlighting the fighting game Dragon Ball Z, Buyu Retsuden. The developers emphasize that this is not a direct port of the Super Famicom Super Butoden titles, but its own unique Mega Drive entry. The text highlights the variety of characters available, including fan favorites like Rikum, Android 18, and Krillin, and mentions the game features easy-to-execute moves, as well as more complex ones, a power-up system, and even comeback super moves. It's presented as a must-have for fans of the series and fighting games. Below that is the Takara section, announcing the release of Fatal Fury 2. Takara expresses excitement for bringing the popular arcade fighter to the Mega Drive. They note that this version includes special features specifically for the console, such as a speed adjustment function and a survival mode. They encourage players who enjoyed the game in the arcade to look forward to playing it again on their Mega Drive. The section includes information about the game's cartridge size, price, and release date. The page includes illustrations of characters from both games, and a small, humorous drawing with a cryptic caption. This page continues the third-party developer corner feature, highlighting 2 different companies. First up is Nichibutsu's section, which centers around their game F1 Circus CD. The main feature is a challenging F1 Super Cult quiz for readers to test their knowledge. While the specific questions are detailed, the section also provides an update on Nichibutsu's activities, mentioning their F1 game and sponsors, hinting at future plans including a project for the Sega Saturn, and suggesting a significant change in the company's image is coming. There's also a mention of prize winners from a previous quiz. Below is the Koei section, promoting their historical simulation games, particularly highlighting the Mega Drive CD version of Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness, Heioden. This part features humorous comic strips and illustrations related to historical events and figures often depicted in their games, such as the incident at Hanoji and the Battle of Yamazaki, featuring characters like Hideyoshi and Katsui. The focus is clearly on the release of Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness on the Mega Drive CD, noting it is currently on sale for 12,800 yen and is being well received. This page presents a diverse collection of eccentric game content and commentary. A major highlight is the reveal of the elusive ending sequence for Super Hydlide, referred to as Sodan, a game notoriously difficult and polarizing, with screenshots showing the conclusion for the first time. The page also features the recurring Baka, idiot, character and pose segment. A peculiar section called Baka Goods recounts the strange experience of finding suspicious candy inside an imported Genesis game package, highlighting the oddities sometimes encountered with foreign releases. The Japanese Illustration Summit section compares character art, focusing on Time Gal, and discussing how different regions perceive character designs. Professor Ann Gibbons' column provides tips for mastering Rastan Saga 2, Nastar, advising against mindless button mashing, and emphasizing defensive tactics and understanding boss patterns. Editor notes touch upon various topics, including manga, the regional differences in the game Cool Spot, and collecting Star Wars merchandise. The page is rounded out with humorous comic strips and recurring character features, capturing the quirky spirit of the publication. This page delves into the fascinating world of personal publishing using electronic media. Marking the 25th entry in this recurring theme, it explores how individuals are leveraging technology, moving beyond traditional print to express themselves and distribute their work. The focus shifts to the United States, highlighting the American personal publishing guys. These enthusiasts are depicted creating books on Macs, copying them onto floppy disks, and distributing them themselves to local bookstores, showcasing a strong Dixie culture rooted in America's history of personal publishing and mini-comics. The article then turns to Japan, with a section titled, "Go for it, Japan." It notes that while perhaps not as widespread as in the US, Japanese creators are also engaging in electronic self-publishing. Examples seen at events like Macworld Expo demonstrate a growing interest and capability among Japanese hobbyists in producing their own digital books and content. Finally, the discussion touches on the relevance of photo CD, asserting that it's a viable medium for creating electronic photo collections. It mentions that platforms like the 3Do and Sega Saturn can play photo creeds, making it easy for anyone with a digital camera, or scanned photos, to publish their own visual books electronically. The page includes images showing an Apple exhibition booth and interfaces from Japanese electronic publishing examples. This page features the latest installment of Jam Oji-san's column, opening with the proverb, "Experience is better than youth." The focus is squarely on the state of the video game industry, particularly the differing dynamics between Japan and overseas markets. The column discusses Sega's growing presence and market share overseas, highlighting the success of the Genesis, Mega Drive, in America against the Super NES, Super Famicom. It notes that while some in Japan might not fully grasp the extent of Sega's overseas gains, reports and events like CES demonstrate a clear shift in momentum. In contrast, the piece suggests that Nintendo is facing challenges in certain markets, struggling to maintain its dominance against Sega's push. Jam Oji-san expresses concern that the Japanese market risks stagnation if it becomes complacent. He contrasts the Japanese user base, which might be content with familiar genres like RPGs such as Dragon Quest, with the more dynamic and innovation-seeking American market. The US market, he argues, thrives on variety and is quicker to embrace new experiences like those offered by the Sega CD, Mega CD. The implication is that Japanese developers and publishers need to break away from routine and take risks to foster market growth. Finally, there's a section calling for reader questions about games and the industry, promising direct answers from Jam Oji-san himself. Eric Sedensky's Hooked Game Experience column discusses the difficulty of game purchasing on a budget. He argues that Japanese game ads lack the persuasive power of American ads, which provide detailed game information and evoke desire. Sedensky contrasts unhelpful Japanese ads, often simplistic, with effective American examples. These include provocative questions and imagery, like a burnt toast illustration, and detailed descriptions. He highlights a compelling $300,000 ad that utilized fast-paced gameplay footage to generate excitement and immediate purchase desire. Sedensky concludes that American-style advertising, focusing on detailed content and emotional engagement, could significantly boost Japanese game sales in the face of increasing competition. This page features the New Soft Schedule, providing a detailed look at upcoming game releases across Sega's platforms. Organized by system and release month, it lists titles for the Mega Drive, Mega CD, and Mega LD. For the Mega Drive, the schedule spans from April through titles with undecided release dates. Highlights include major releases like NBA Jam, Outrunners, RoboCop vs. the Terminator, the hugely popular Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Mortal Kombat, FIFA International Soccer, Chuck Rock 2, and Dynamite Headdy. Other intriguing titles listed are Zool, Ninja of the Nth Dimension, and Rolling Thunder 3. The table provides release dates, prices, publishers, genres, and cartridge sizes, giving players a comprehensive overview of what's coming. The Mega CD section similarly details upcoming titles, featuring games like Eye of the Beholder, Star Wars, Rebel Assault, WWF Rage in the Cage, Shining Force CD, and the highly anticipated RPG, Lunar, Eternal Blue. This list also includes games with specific release dates, and others marked as TBD. Finally, The Mega LD section shows a smaller list of upcoming software, including titles like Virtual Cameraman 2. This schedule provides a fantastic snapshot of the diverse software lineup Sega had planned for its fans across its 16-bit ecosystem. This page details the upcoming Game Gear software schedule from April to July, highlighting titles like Shin Megami Tensei, Last Bible, NBA Jam, and Zool, Ninja of the Nth Dimension. Developer updates follow, including Sega's Heavenly Symphony project with Fuji TV, Capcom's Super Street Fighter II discussion, and Infocom's Zool Mega Drive/Game Gear release date announcement, along with a battery adapter. Sony Music mentions Mega CD titles, Crick confirms World Derby's May release, and Data East hints at character swaps. Various other publishers provide release dates and news on their upcoming games, including Pony Canyon's Eye of the Beholder, Victor Entertainment's spring releases, and Koei's historical/mythological titles. Sunsoft anticipates Panorama Cotton's completion, Tengen hints at a major ad, and Messiah showcases a Langrisser 2 poster. Santa, a Sega specialty shop, advertises its terminal, highlighting clearer images and featuring Outrunners and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 this month. They offer various hardwares like the Wonder Mega 2, Mega Drive 2, Mega CD 2, and Mega Jet, along with upcoming Mega Drive and Mega CD releases, including Streets of Rage 3, Virtua Racing, and Final Fight CD. A super special price corner offers discounted Mega Drive classics. Shipping costs vary by region, with extra fees for some areas. Orders can be placed by phone or fax, with operating hours until 7:30 p.m. weekdays and 2 p.m. Saturdays. This page is a mail-order catalog from Emerson, featuring a wide range of new and used software and hardware for systems like the Mega Drive and Mega CD, alongside options to sell your old gear. This page provides a comprehensive guide on how to fill out the reader survey postcard for the magazine. It breaks down the process step by step, showing how to mark answers for various questions using a mark sheet format. The survey covers personal information, including age, gender, and occupation, and delves into readers' gaming habits, asking about the number of Mega Drive games owned and the gaming magazines they frequent. It also solicits feedback on the current issue, asking which articles stood out as particularly interesting or uninteresting. Furthermore, the questionnaire explores readers' media consumption and the gaming hardware they own, listing a broad range of systems from Sega's lineup like the Mega Drive, Sega CD, and Wonder Mega, to other consoles like the Super Famicom, Neo Geo, and PC Engine. Finally, it polls readers on their desired games, featuring extensive lists of titles they hope to see released on the Mega Drive and games they plan to purchase next. The page also announces the winners of the previous month's present giveaway, listing the recipients by prefecture. This page kicks off the BeepMD Part 2 Hot Menu section, listing upcoming game previews starting with F-117 Stealth on this very page, followed by games like Fatal Fury 2, NBA Jam, and Streets of Rage 3 on subsequent pages. The focus here is F-117 Stealth, described as Operation Night Storm. It's highlighted as a detailed simulation, allowing players to experience flying the famous stealth bomber. The article touches on the F-117's ability to evade radar and features screenshots showing cockpit views, targeting systems, and enemy aircraft like the MiG-29. The game offers both a freeform arcade mode and a structured campaign mode with missions, emphasizing the thrill of strategic combat. The manufacturer notes the game accurately reflects the aircraft's stealth technology and its relatively high price point of 9,800 yen, positioning it as a premium simulation title from EA Victor. This page showcases Fatal Fury 2 for the Sega Mega Drive, following its mention on the previous page's hot menu. The article highlights that this isn't just a simple port but includes original Mega Drive elements, emphasizing faster execution of techniques and combos compared to the original version. Players can also adjust the game speed in 3 steps. A significant addition is the Mega Drive Original Survival Mode, where you select 5 characters to battle continuously. The game also features clear sound quality, said to be very similar to the Neo Geo version. The series' unique 2-line battle system, allowing strategic movement between planes, is fully intact, along with line attacks. Screenshots display character selection for the survival mode, battles featuring characters like Big Bear, and demonstrations of the 2-line movement mechanic. The preview suggests this port is impressive and should satisfy fans. Developed by Takara and set for release on June 24th for 9,800 yen. This page dives into the characters and special moves of Fatal Fury 2 for the Mega Drive. Following up on the previous page's preview, this section aims to show how faithfully the characters and their techniques have been ported. It gathers the special moves for several characters and also highlights their unique traits. Featured characters include Terry Bogard, Andy Bogard, Joe Higashi, Kim Kafwan, Mai Shiranui, Big Bear, Jubei Yamada, and Cheng Sinzan. Each character gets a portrait, their name, and multiple screenshots demonstrating their signature moves. From Terry's Power Geyser and Burn Knuckle, to Mai's Musabi no Mai, and Jubei's Dynamite Isuna Otoshi. The article notes the impressive reproduction of these moves. Looking ahead, the page mentions that while 8 characters are covered here, the next issue will introduce the remaining 3 fighters, Billy Kane, Lawrence Blood, and Wolfgang Krauser. A brief message from the developer, Takara, expresses their hope that Mega Drive users will enjoy the game, which is based on the Neo Geo version, and encourages feedback. This page delves into the world of Crusader of Senti, known as Shinsao Seiki Ragnasenti in Japan, highlighting its impressive technical achievements and unique gameplay. Developed by Nextech, formerly GAW Entertainment, this action RPG is praised for pushing the limits of the Mega Drive hardware, particularly with its vibrant and colorful graphics, which some felt resembled Super Famicom titles. A key feature discussed is the Trinity system, which involves befriending various animals who join the protagonist and aid in combat. These animal companions follow the hero-like options in a shooting game and provide various effects, such as boosting attack power or increasing movement speed. The article notes that players can have up to 2 animals summoned simultaneously, and combining them can unlock special abilities. Several animal companions are showcased, including a dog that can stop enemy movement, a penguin capable of using ice magic, a lion that enhances combat power, and a cheetah which significantly boosts the protagonist's movement speed. The prologue section sets up the game's narrative, introducing the protagonist, a young boy who gains the ability to understand animals after visiting a fortune teller, setting the stage for his journey and the game's themes about the world's creation and the bond between humans and other creatures. Release information is also presented, indicating the game's development progress. This page gives us a tour of the key locations you'll visit early in Crusader of Seni. While combat and movement within an area are action-based, traveling between locations is done via a wide world map. You start in Soleil Town, the hero's hometown, during his 14th birthday celebration. Following tradition, you receive a sword and report to the king, gaining permission to enter the Rafflesia training grounds. This is your first major goal, collecting 3 medals, gold, silver, and bronze. By completing various courses to prove your mastery and earn a sacred sword from the king. Beyond the town lies Daria Gorge, a perilous area filled with monsters that acts as a gateway to further regions. Overcoming the challenges here, potentially by utilizing your sword and emerging animal companions, is essential for progression. Mastering the jump ability in Daria Gorge unlocks the Anemone Coast, a unique beach area with distinct enemies and environmental effects like leaving footprints. The article concludes by emphasizing that the journey is just beginning, with many more areas and useful animal companions waiting to be discovered as the story of this richly presented action RPG unfolds. Effectively using your companion's abilities is highlighted as the key to success. This page dives into the high-flying, backboard-shattering action of NBA Jam. It highlights the game's unique, non-traditional 2-on-2 format, promising a heated battle experience that goes beyond typical basketball simulation. With the game nearing release, the article offers a look at the basic controls and techniques needed to master the court, along with details on the roster of 54 NBA players included. A key focus is the joy of multiplayer, emphasizing that while you control one player, the CPU can be unpredictable. Playing with friends allows for coordinated, exciting gameplay, encouraging players to team up and enjoy the chaos together. The controls are presented as easy and intuitive, allowing for immediate access to the game's signature moves. On offense, A is shoot and C is pass, but holding the turbo button B enables fast dribbling and transforms shots into spectacular super dunks that defy gravity. On defense, A is block and cock is steal. Holding turbo allows for faster movement and the ability to shove opponents off the ball. The page features screenshots illustrating these moves, including massive dunks, the fiery fire shot achievable after multiple scores, and even the possibility of breaking the backboard. It's clear the game prioritizes over-the-top spectacle and fast-paced fun. This page builds on the introduction to NBA Jam, showcasing the extensive roster of 54 real NBA players available in the game. The main section presents each team from both the Western and Eastern Conferences, showing the 2 players included for each, and a brief comment on their playstyle or strengths. The big reveal, however, is the Scoop section, which unveils a secret roster of 12 additional, unconventional players. These unlockable characters include prominent figures like the President and Vice President of the United States, a famous football player, a funk musician, and even the development staff themselves. Images prominently feature the pixelated likenesses of Bill Clinton, Al Gore, and quarterback Warren Moon, highlighting the game's sense of humor. The text mentions these hidden characters can apparently be accessed via a password screen, adding an extra layer of fun for players to discover. A short message from the publisher encourages everyone to enjoy the chaotic, championship-chasing fun. This page dives into the action-packed world of Streets of Rage 3, known as Bare Knuckle 2 in Japan. The main feature highlights the game as the latest entry in the series, praised for its fast pace and branching story with multiple endings. The article promises to detail the techniques and unique features of the 4 main player characters and more. Featured prominently is a breakdown of the characters' special moves, referred to as, quote, it shows Axel, Blaze, Skate, Sammy in this version, and Zan, illustrating their signature techniques at different power levels, level 1, 2, and 3, with screenshots and simplified directional inputs. A key point explained is that these special moves can now be used repeatedly without draining health, unlike previous games, leveling up based on score but dropping a level if you miss. Below this, the weapon special moves are showcased. It details the preferred weapons for Axel, Blaze, and Skate. Zan's weapon handling is noted as unique, and illustrates their special attacks when wielding them. These weapon techniques consume weapon durability, adding a strategic layer to their use. The page effectively serves as a quick reference guide to the core combat mechanics and character abilities in this exciting brawler. This page delves further into the intricacies of Streets of Rage 3, revealing hidden depths beyond the initial 4 playable characters. It highlights that while 4 characters are available from the start, 3 more can be unlocked by meeting specific conditions during gameplay for subsequent continues or playthroughs. The page introduces these unlockable characters, Ash, Shiva, and Rue. It briefly explains how to unlock each one after defeating them in battle, or via a title screen code for Rue. Character profiles are provided for Ash, Shiva, and Rue. Ash is described as a powerful grappler with unique throw abilities but lacking standard features like a jump attack. Shiva returns with his signature speed and flashy special moves. Rue, the kangaroo, offers a varied and unconventional fighting style with many attacks but no throws. Performance charts are included for each, giving a visual breakdown of their stats. A bonus section discusses the appearance of Adam Hunter from the original Streets of Rage. He appears in cutscenes and as a one-up item, which the reviewer notes feels like a minor role despite Adam's popularity. Finally, the article reflects on Streets of Rage 3's expanded content, noting the increased techniques and the ability to play as enemies utilize the larger game capacity well. Despite this, some content was still cut. The reviewer expresses hope for the series' continuation, perhaps on the Sega Saturn console. This page introduces the Sega Mega Drive release of Puzzle in Action, Tantor, highlighting its key feature of supporting up to 4 players simultaneously. The article notes that while the arcade version was once common, the Mega Drive version brings the fun home, perfect for family enjoyment. A major feature on the page is a BeepMD Writer Showdown tournament, where 4 writers from the magazine compete in Tantor to see who is the best. The page features photos and brief profiles of each participant: Rondon Kobayashi, Tsukazumi Ichi, Sakuyama Gunki, and Sasaki Kafu. Each profile mentions their areas of expertise and particular minigames they excel or struggle in. The lower portion of the page showcases several of the minigames found within Tantor, providing small screenshots and brief descriptions of the rules. It mentions that the game contains a total of 20 different types of minigames, offering a wide variety of challenges. Examples shown include maze navigation, pattern matching, simple calculations, puzzle assembly, and reaction-based tasks, demonstrating the diverse gameplay featured in the collection. The reviewer notes that there might be even more secret games. This page continues the coverage of the Sega Mega Drive's Tantor, focusing on an intense 4-player tournament among the magazine's writers. The competition followed a first-to-12 wins format, showcasing how player strengths and weaknesses in the diverse minigames dramatically influenced the outcome. Initially, some players leaned on their preferred game types, but the unpredictable nature of Tantra meant strategy and adaptation were key. The report highlights the competitive energy, even showing photos of players intensely focused during the matches. After a tight battle, especially in the later stages, Sakuyama Gunki emerged as the victor, securing his win in the heart-watchable minigame. His opponent, Rondon Kobayashi, is noted to have been visibly shocked by the defeat. The page also provides a visual guide to some of the many minigames featured in Tantra. Screenshots illustrate the variety, including reaction-based challenges like Photo Shock and Can Crusher, puzzle solving like Panel Flip and Tekipaki Cookie, calculation challenges like Block and Roll, memory tests like Animal Sound Shower, and observation tasks like Bird Trick. A brief comment from the developer praises the Mega Drive version for bringing the fun of the arcade home, making it accessible and enjoyable for everyone. This page dives into FIFA International Soccer on the Mega Drive. The game is highlighted as bringing the excitement of the World Cup right into your home, especially after Japan's unfortunate exit from the qualifiers. It boasts a large number of participating teams, including Japan. The game uses a unique quarter-view perspective for gameplay, which provides a great sense of depth, and the crowd reactions are noted as impressive. Multiple game modes are available, including a simple exhibition match, a league mode with round-robin matches, and a tournament mode aiming for the World Championship. A playoff mode for the top 16 teams is also mentioned. Up to 4 players can participate in the game. The options menu is extensive and detailed, allowing players to customize rules like offside, choose between different field types, natural or artificial grass, which affects ball physics, and set the weather conditions from 4 options. The weather impacts ball movement, rotation, and player fatigue. You can also decide if the goalkeeper is controlled by the computer or the player. There's even an option for how the clock handles stoppages during the match. The reviewer closes by expressing enthusiasm for the growing popularity of soccer and suggests this game is perfect for channeling the frustration from the recent World Cup qualifiers, urging readers to buy it. This page celebrates the arrival of spring and the joy of taking portable Sega gaming outdoors with the Game Gear and Mega Jet. It hails the Game Gear, launched in 1990 as Japan's first handheld with a color LCD, noting its compatibility with Master System titles made software development easy. The Game Gear's popularity is highlighted, driven by price drops and an expanding game library. The page details the Game Gear specifications, including a Z80 CPU, 64 kilobits RAM, and a 3.2-inch color screen capable of 4,096 colors. Several accessories are shown and described, such as the TV tuner, big window screen magnifier, car adapter, battery pack, and link cable for multiplayer. Sales statistics across Japan, the USA, and Europe demonstrate the system's growing success worldwide. A timeline outlines key Sega hardware and software releases related to the Game Gear and Master System. An interview section features the hardware development team discussing the challenges of creating a portable color system, including screen size, design for portability, battery life, and cost considerations. They explain how they aimed for a balance between performance and portability, making revisions after launch to refine the system. Game Gear's product managers discuss strong sales growth, particularly among children and women, and their goal to become the market leader through a focus on color screens and high-quality games. They aim to release over 40 titles next year, including character and sports games for younger players, and classic genres like Mahjong for adults. The interview also details the Mega Jet, a portable Mega Drive, roughly half the size of the original, capable of running Mega Drive and Mega CD cartridges, connecting to a home console, and featuring dual CPUs and a variety of ports. Priced at 15,000 yen, the Mega Jet is designed for portability and durability, but lacks dedicated outdoor accessories. This page presents a comprehensive look at the Game Gear software library from its launch until March 1993, showcasing a total of 108 titles. The layout features a large grid, detailing each game with its publisher, release information, genre, and a small screenshot. A system of colored dots indicates the game's current availability, while an exclamation mark signifies a recommended title by Sega staff and the editorial department. As noted in a sidebar that even features a screenshot from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The lineup covers a wide range of genres, from popular arcade ports like Super Monaco GP, Pac-Man, Columns, Wonder Boy, Glock, Air Battle, and Mappy, to console staples like Dragon Crystal, the GG Shinobi, and Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. Puzzle games such as Shanghai 2, Sukoban, and Junction are included, alongside sports titles like Pro Yaku 91 and Gear Stadium, and even unique Japanese releases like Ganbare Gorby. Screenshots provide a visual preview of the action, puzzles, and racing featured across this extensive library, highlighting the growing versatility of the Game Gear's software catalog during its early years. A chart is also included, showing the monthly release count over this period. This page details more Game Gear games from 1991 to 1993, expanding on the previous page's listing. It features a variety of titles, including arcade ports, e.g., Outrun, Space Harrier, Sega console adaptations, Sonic the Hedgehog, Wonder Boy 2-1, original games, Axe Battler, Phantasy Star, and diverse genres like sports, Joe Montana Football, Chow Pro Yaku, puzzles, Pocket Mahjong, Magical Puzzle Popples, and action, Ninja Gaiden, Chuck Rock. Minigames and horror titles are also included. Each entry has a description and screenshot. This page continues showcasing a lineup of Game Gear titles, featuring a diverse mix of genres from late 1992 through early 1994. You'll find popular arcade and console ports like Streets of Rage 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Aladdin, alongside acclaimed RPGs such as the Shining Force Gaiden series, including the Sword of Hajia, which is highlighted at the bottom as the winner of the first Game Gear Reader race poll. The page also includes puzzle games like Lemmings and Puyo Puyo 2, sports titles like Riddick Bowe Boxing and Winter Olympic Games 94, and unique licensed games including Tom and Jerry, Jurassic Park, and various Japanese exclusive titles like Ahari Manada. Each entry provides a glimpse into the game with a screenshot and brief description, giving readers a taste of the action, strategy, or puzzle solving awaiting them on Sega's handheld. The bottom section emphasizes the community aspect, inviting readers to participate in future popularity contests. This page continues the Game Gear deep dive, focusing on upcoming titles. The main highlight is World Derby, a horse racing simulation where you play as the owner, not just a bettor. The game lets you breed, train, sell, and race your own horses, offering a deep dive into the world of horse ownership. Sections cover the market for buying/selling horses, managing your horses on the pasture, and checking their status. The reviewer notes the simulation depth, allowing players to experience the entire process. Other anticipated titles mentioned include Tantra, Megami Tensei Gaiden, GP Rider, and NBA Jam, showcasing a varied lineup across genres. There's also a fun feature following Gladiejun as she visits a real-life racetrack to experience the atmosphere and check out the horses, demonstrating how the game connects to the actual sport. The page emphasizes the game's detail, like checking horse condition at the paddock and using TV broadcasts for info. This page continues the look into the Game Gear's World Derby, detailing the life of a horse owner. It covers finding reliable trainers from different regions, each with their own style, and getting your horse in peak condition. You'll check your horse's stats and condition before deciding to train it through methods like hill work or give it a break in the pasture. Race day is a big deal. You select the appropriate race based on your horse's readiness. Head to the race course, check out the form guide from a tipster, and place your bets using a mark sheet. The game simulates the thrill of watching the race live, complete with fanfare and the call to the start. 2 modes are available. Dream mode lets you aim for major classic races, while party mode allows up to 8 players to bet and watch races together. The page concludes with a personal account of the reviewer or character getting thoroughly hooked on the real-life sport after playing, highlighting the game's depth and the ability to race your trained horses against others in versus mode. It captures the excitement and strategy of horse ownership and racing. This page is packed with exciting Game Gear titles. First up is Tantor, bringing the arcade's frantic minigame party action almost perfectly to the handheld, complete with versus play and a challenging mode. Next is Megami Tensei Gaiden, Last Bible, a heavy RPG experience ported from the Game Boy, where you'll explore, negotiate with demons, and fuse them to build your party, retaining that classic Megami Tensei depth. For racing fans, there's GP Rider, the first Game Gear Sega sports title offering distinct game modes like Grand Prix and World Tour, focusing on fast-paced bike action with a 3D perspective. Finally, the arcade smash hit NBA Jam arrives, delivering high-flying 2-on-2 basketball with real NBA players and spectacular jams that are consistently exciting. The GG Hotline section rounds things out, highlighting this month's releases and teasing future hits like Madu Monogatari 2 and a movie tie-in game, urging players to grab a Game Gear and experience the growing library. This page shifts focus to the Sega CD kicking off the Mega CD press section by previewing upcoming titles. The main highlight is Lunar, Eternal Blue, showcasing its impressive visual scenes from the opening sequence. A large, vibrant, pixelated close-up of the character Lucia demonstrates the high quality of the animation, which is described as being on par with OVA, original video animation. The article also features concept art and storyboards by character designer Toshiyuki Kubuka, who is directing the opening animation, emphasizing the cinematic feel they are aiming for. A small list indicates other Mega CD games covered later in the magazine, including titles like Dungeon Master 2, Popful Mail, and Dragon's Lair, hinting at the diverse lineup coming to the console. The focus here is clearly on the visual prowess and narrative depth promised by Lunar, Eternal Blue's opening. The next page dives deeper into Lunar, Eternal Blue on the Sega CD, focusing specifically on its battle system and world exploration. The article highlights the turn-based combat system, noting it feels familiar to players of the original Lunar but with significantly enhanced visual effects and character animations during attacks and spells. A sequence of screenshots showcases the flow of battle, from selecting commands like attack, skill, or defense on the encounter screen, to characters executing actions. A specific skill, Hyro's powerful flying/A, is demonstrated through a series of images, showing him leaping towards an enemy and delivering a blow. The page also includes a brief look at the game's dungeon and field maps, mentioning the detailed and lively movements of the party members as they navigate the environments. It seems the level of detail in character animation extends beyond cutscenes into exploration and combat. This page delves deeper into the combat system of Lunar, Eternal Blue on the Sega CD, showcasing some of the powerful abilities available to your party members. We see Lean's devastating Firestorm spell, a characteristically flashy fire attack that hits all enemies, living up to its name as a potent offensive magic perfect for the refined mage. The page also highlights Ronfar's unique skill, Double-Edged Roulette, which involves a giant die dropping from the sky to inflict damage, particularly effective on groups of enemies near the impact point. This move is described as a gamble, a technique original to Lunar, Eternal Blue. The article includes a queue and a section focusing on battle mechanics. It confirms the presence of elemental weaknesses, where fire spells are effective against water monsters, for example. It also mentions the existence of items with special effects and discusses enemy actions, noting that foes can initiate surprise attacks, disrupt party formation, or start battles while the party is surrounded. The overall goal for the battle scenes is to encourage players to strategize based on the visual feedback. This page announces the addition of 3 new main characters to the cast of Lunar, Eternal Blue, completing a set of 8 primary figures for the game. The newly revealed characters are Jean, a talented dancer from a traveling caravan with a mysterious past injury; Gwyn, Hiro's eccentric archaeologist grandfather obsessed with the legends of the Blue Star; and Null, the lively but lonely leader of a bandit group who bears a resemblance to Ruby. The page also reintroduces 5 main characters previously featured: the protagonist Hyro, the enigmatic girl Lucia, the haughty mage Lemona, the gambling fighter Ronfar, and the mischievous red dragon child Ruby, who dreams of marrying Hyro and dislikes Lucia. The article notes that the unique and charming personalities of these characters are set to color the story of Lunar, Eternal Blue, building anticipation for their roles in the game. This page dives deep into the world of the Lunar series, providing updates on Lunar, Eternal Blue, referred to here as Lunar 2, and taking a nostalgic look back at a fan-favorite character, Nash, from the original Lunar, the Silver Star, Lunar 1. The page features vibrant color, showcasing concept art for various monsters appearing in Eternal Blue, along with sketches of Nash and other character expressions. The accompanying text discusses the development process, highlighting the creature designs and offering an insightful character profile for Nash, detailing his growth as a mage and his personal life since the first game. It's a great behind-the-scenes look for fans, celebrating the creative effort behind these classic RPGs. This page continues the deep dive into the development of Lunar, Eternal Blue, following up on the previous page's focus. It features sections for fan mail, developer diaries, a staff introduction, and a message from the company president. The fan mail section includes requests for features like the return of Althena's Spring from the first game, and comments on character depictions, including artwork showing Lemona, saying she wants to be drawn cutely. The staff introduction features system designer Natria Yamane, who discusses the progress on the game's opening and anime sequences, and mentions the challenges of fitting ambitious ideas like many spells and messages within memory limitations. The Timeslip development diary covers late 1992, detailing the team's intense work, including refining the game's story, which was initially planned with 3 different approaches before the final one was decided. President Miyagi provides an update, acknowledging the large scale of the game and the hard work involved, but expresses confidence in showcasing it soon. There's also a call for fan submissions, asking for thoughts on the Ramus Cup minigame, illustrations of Lemina, and the character growth system. Overall, it provides a fascinating look at the challenges and progress during the development of this classic RPG. This page dives into Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends on the Mega CD. Right before its release, the magazine proudly announces the game is 100% complete and is set to launch on April 15th. According to the preview, the gameplay experience is incredibly fast and stress-free, feeling much like watching the anime itself, almost like an interactive OVA. The story kicks off on a sunny Saturday afternoon, with Ataru planning his usual girl hunt, only to be interrupted by Lum proposing a date. This leads into a mystery, where they must uncover the cause of strange occurrences in Tomobiki Town. A standout feature is the sheer number of characters appearing, a staggering 120 different kinds. The interface includes a useful memo book and character file system, accessible at any time. The memo book allows you to check items Ataru possesses, while the character file lets you view profiles and addresses of everyone he's met, making it easy to keep track of the sprawling cast. The save system also shows a brief summary of what Ataru was doing at that point. Overall, it seems like a robust and faithful adaptation of the beloved series. This page provides a comprehensive map guide for Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends, showcasing the setting of Tomobiki Town. The game starts with access limited to just 3 locations: Shinobu's Place in the 4th District, Lum's Place in the 2nd District, and Tomobiki High School. A key aspect highlighted is how changing the order you visit these locations can subtly alter the story's progression and character reactions, particularly between Lum and Ryunosuke. You'll also encounter characters beyond the main cast by repeatedly exploring the town. As the narrative unfolds, more areas become accessible, encouraging players to wander and explore. The guide details Tomobiki High School, the setting for many events, where Ryunosuke's parents reside in the school store. After school, few students remain, but you can meet Sakura-sensei and Megane. Specific school areas like the shoe locker area, school store, classroom 2A, and the toilet are shown, hinting at various events or character encounters within them. Tomobiki Park is also featured as a community hub, where you might encounter Shinobu or Ryunosuke's father, who runs a 24-hour stall there. The bench area is pointed out as a common meeting spot. Overall, it's a great overview of the game's interconnected locations and how exploration is key to the experience. This page continues the exploration guide for Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends, mapping out more key locations in Tomobiki Town. The page showcases the significant residences of the main characters, starting with the elaborate Mendu estate, detailing its impressive gate, serene courtyard, and luxurious interior, noting the presence of the Mendu family and the requirement of a specific item for entry. It then moves to Ataru Moroboshi's house, illustrating the exterior, the messy vacant lot next door, home to Kotatsuneko and Ten, Ataru's room packed with interactive items, the living room with the game machine, the entrance, and the kitchen, suggesting important items can be found here. Lum's distinctive UFO-shaped house is featured, showing both its exterior and interior control room. Shinobu's house is described as surprisingly ordinary, with images of its exterior and a peek inside her room, hinting at a rumor about the house. Finally, the page details the shrine where Sakura-sensei lives, showing the shrine grounds and her interior space, noting its deep connection to the story. The guide highlights these areas as central to the game's narrative and character interactions, encouraging players to explore them thoroughly. This page maps key game locations in Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends, including the Mendu estate, Ataru's, Lum's, Shinobu's houses, and Sakura's shrine. This page continues the coverage of Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends on the Mega CD, focusing on one of the fun elements: finding hidden characters within the game screens. By clicking on specific points, players can trigger reactions or reveal hidden characters. This section introduces some of these characters, including explanations from the original manga. For those unfamiliar with the series, featured hidden characters range from the troublesome pool monster from Volume 9, and the bizarre Satusan, who grows from eating instant ramen, Volume 27, to the enigmatic Inaba, a Fate manufacturing worker, Volume 33, and the small robot teacher Kaio 2, Volume 18. The page also features a message from Hiro, the singer-songwriter responsible for the game's opening and ending themes. She shares her experience creating the music and promotes her second album, I'm So Happy, which includes remixed versions of the game's songs. Finally, there's a small notice about a giveaway offering copies of Hiro's album to readers. The next page continues covering Urusei Yatsura. Dear my friends, highlighting the importance of items in the game. Items aren't just collectibles. Giving specific ones to certain characters advances the story or triggers unique reactions. You can obtain items by talking to people or finding them hidden in the environment. The page lists a few examples like a movie ticket, a key to the Moroboshi house, flowers, and Akamaru the octopus from the seafood restaurant Army. Giving a flower to Ran is shown as an example of an item interaction. The article then teases future story developments. It mentions searching for Mama's pendant, introducing a character named Sakchan whose true identity is hinted at, and a strange event where everyone disappears from Tomobiki Town Park during a game of tag. Screenshots show Ataru and Lum with Sakchan, and Ataru looking bewildered in the seemingly empty park, hinting at the mystery to come. This page delves into Dungeon Master 2, Skullkeep, following up on the adventure with the character head acting as a guide through the game's shopping mechanics and the Ray Tribe village. It provides a synopsis of the story so far, highlighting the quest by the main party Ilya, Saros, and Torham to find the keys needed to open the keep and stop the encroaching evil. The head offers crucial advice for navigating the game's economy. A major tip is to always haggle when buying items in shops, illustrating the process with screenshots. Another key point is understanding the difference between buy and sell prices, which are displayed in the shop interface. The article emphasizes that fighting the shopkeepers is a bad idea, as they are tough and the whole shop will attack you. A detailed price list is provided for the 4 main shops in the Rat Tribe village, covering items, weapons, clothing, and armor. The list uses the game's unique currency system of red, green, gold, silver, and copper coins, explaining their relative values. The game is noted as having a well-balanced difficulty suitable for both newcomers to 3D dungeon crawlers and veterans of the series. The next page continues the guide to Dungeon Master 2, with Headchan now lecturing on the game's intricate magic system. The page features a vibrant illustration of a mage character and a screenshot showing the spellcasting interface, where players combine elemental and power symbols. The core of magic is explained as combining 24 different symbols, with effectiveness determined by skill level. The guide emphasizes the importance of practice to master magic, recommending starting with higher power symbols gradually and practicing outside of combat initially. Mana potions are highlighted as essential for mages, while health potions benefit everyone. The guide suggests specific locations for mastering the highest level spells for both mages and clerics within the game world. 2 extensive tables detail the spells available to clerics and mages, listing the required symbols, the spell name, like heal potion, firebolt, invisibility, various auras, and minions, and a brief description of their effect. This section provides a comprehensive overview of the diverse magical abilities players can acquire, ranging from healing and buffs to direct damage and utility spells. This page delves deeper into the Dungeon Master 2 adventure, focusing on navigating the perilous third field, titled Adventure Day 4. The murderous Axeman is a terrible guy. Quote, it highlights the increased difficulty. The Axeman's Forest is described as a dangerous area where axes fly, recommending players avoid head-on combat with the Axe User tribe, and instead focus on finding hidden keys while potentially fleeing. The guide then introduces the Ra clan's hidden village, a crucial trading spot where axes are cheap and poison arrows are affordable for ninjas. It notes that finding and selling valuable items like the fire sword and blue crystal here can be profitable, as can selling techno-style armor. The page also features a map of the third field, showing these locations and connections. A section on the thief's path provides tactical advice. Use headphones to hear the thief's footsteps, turn the party to face the sound, and bump into them to trap them in dead ends, suggesting frontline fighters use fists and backline fighters use poison arrows. Finally, the importance of party formation is emphasized, especially when encountering tough monsters guarding traps. The guide explains how to surround the leader, who handles traps, and have others face outwards to cover all directions, allowing attacks on unseen enemies and preventing surprise attacks while setting traps. The page includes screenshots of the thief and the formation display, plus a small image of a palm apple local specialty. Dungeon Master 2, Adventure Day 5, details the final stages of the Manor of the Dead. The Forest of Death and Manor of the Mist present treacherous terrain. The Manor of the Mist, a point of no return, houses powerful monsters like the Doom Phantom, requiring harmony spells for survival. The Grand Hall of Ruin and Underground Den, containing the final key, are riddled with dangers, monsters, pitfalls, and requiring anti-defense gear, favoring mage class. Monster profiles and a Target Expert section emphasize the need for party members to be at level 8 Expert or risk significant setbacks. Maps for each area are included. This page focuses on the action RPG, Popful Mail, highlighting the story and stages in the middle section of the game as the adventure approaches its climax. Following a significant turn in Stage 3 where Mail and her companions become the target of a bounty, they must now collect 4 crystal balls to reseal a revived demon lord. The spotlight is on Stage 4, the challenging ice world. The reviewer points out the beautiful environment contrasting with the extremely slippery ground, making movement difficult. Despite cute smaller enemies, controlling Mail is tricky on the ice. A helpful tip is to acquire the stone shoes item from the shop to improve handling on the ice, even if it reduces walking speed. The page introduces the terrifying sister bosses, Lip and Rap. Lip attacks with bubbles and ice shards, while Rap employs similar moves. The strategy suggested for Rap is to lure her to the central barrel for counterattacks. After defeating the sisters, familiar faces appear. Mail's companions, Material and Tat, who have been captured. Just as they expect to collect a bounty, Mail is ambushed and frozen solid, adding another twist to the plot. Finally, the page teases the encounter with the big boss, Dakin, shown in a screenshot at the end of the stage. The game is described as released, 7,800 yen, and a single-player action RPG, with 100% completion shown for the guide. This page dives into Stage 5 of Popful Mail, continuing the quest to collect the crystal balls and seal the Demon Lord. Having acquired 3 from defeating Lip, Rap, and Dakin, the final ball is located within the treacherous Alcazarel Castle. The castle stage is described as incredibly complex and filled with traps, requiring players to carefully navigate and remember entry and exit points. Character switching is essential to overcome specific obstacles. The guide stresses the importance of finding all treasure chests. Screenshots show the intricate castle layout, pressure plates triggering hazards like spike floors, and mentions moving platforms requiring careful timing or character use. It also teases a mysterious robot associated with Mail's companion, Material. The focus shifts to obtaining the final crystal ball, held by the boss, the Ragin Knight. This boss is highlighted as powerful, recommending saving before engaging. A screenshot shows Mail battling the heavily armored knight. Finally, the page touches upon the game over screens, noting that each character has a unique one reflecting their personality, which is an interesting touch, but ultimately, a game over is still sad. The iconic game over pose before the screen is also shown. This page is a guide to the classic Laserdisc adventure game, Dragon's Lair, released on the Mega CD. It promises to explain all the events leading up to the final battle. The article highlights Dragon's Lair as a pivotal title in the history of LD adventures, praising its stunning animation quality by Don Bluth. The Mega CD port is presented as successfully capturing the arcade atmosphere, though the core gameplay involves reactive QuickTime events and memorizing inputs, which is acknowledged as challenging. A beginner's guide provides essential tips, such as avoiding obviously dangerous areas, learning how to react to enemies, sometimes fighting, sometimes running, understanding the timing for successful actions, and noting that input timing can vary from scene to scene, requiring trial and error. Screenshots illustrate these lessons, showing Dirk navigating fiery rooms, fighting creatures, and dealing with traps. The page also includes a brief history of LED adventures, noting their initial popularity based on visuals, but their eventual decline partly due to the demanding memorization required and the nature of arcade play. Finally, it lists other notable LED games released overseas like Space Ace and Cliffhanger, as well as domestic Japanese titles including fantasy, sci-fi, and Japanese-style action games. The page features key art of Dirk battling monsters and the game's title logo. This page continues the guide to Dragon's Lair on Mega CD, focusing on significant events encountered after the initial stages. It showcases numerous scenes with screenshots, providing brief hints on how to overcome the challenges presented in each. You'll find descriptions and tips for scenes like navigating the Orc's tower with tricky combat timing, escaping collapsing floors in the room with a puddle, noting the odd screen flip common in overseas ports, confronting the Lizard King to retrieve your sword, and dealing with deadly traps like the electric floor in the round room or the rotating pendulum. Easier on Mega CD than in arcades. Other highlighted moments include the confusing seesaw floor, the mandatory escape from the Black Knight on horseback, dodging lightning in a small room, navigating a metal grating path with random electric attacks, and riding a bizarre mechanical horse. There's even a guide to the blacksmith's room, where you parry attacks before being thrown towards a furnace. The article briefly mentions other late-game events, like the skeletal path and the final dragon's lair itself, reinforcing that memorizing commands is key to success. A column titled, Knight Dirk's Lovable Mug, praises the protagonist's exaggerated, often goofy facial expressions, particularly when failing. The reviewer finds his reactions charming, and even morale-boosting for frustrated players. Finally, a special bonus section features a portrait of Princess Daphne, Dirk's love interest, described as pretty, sexy, and cute, with praise for the Japanese voice acting. This page is dedicated to Eye of the Beholder on the Sega Mega CD. It announces the long-awaited release of the game, promising enriched content and a classic 3D dungeon-crawling RPG experience, where the player is tasked with bringing the story to its conclusion. The article introduces the initial premise: the dwarves returning to their ancestral home, only to find it overrun. Key plot points include the kidnapping of Prince Kirgar and the mysterious slumber of the Dwarf King. Players will delve into the labyrinthine tunnels, searching for vital items like the Wand of Sylvia and the key to the portal. A central antagonist is introduced, Cynthia, a powerful drow elf leader allied with the fearsome beholder, Xanathar. A relationship chart visually depicts the conflict between the dwarves, the drow, and Xanathar's forces controlling the surface world. An interesting gameplay feature highlighted is the ability to resurrect skeletons found within the dungeon, turning them into friendly party members. The page showcases portraits of several potential recruits encountered in this state, including a priest, a mage, a female warrior, and a thief, suggesting strategic party composition is key. The game is noted as being single-player only and compatible with the mouse peripheral for potentially smoother navigation and combat. This page, titled Become Xanathar's Feast, dives deeper into the challenges and inhabitants of the dungeon in Eye of the Beholder. It warns that the maze is tough, filled with monsters that pop out, dangerous traps like hidden pits, and environmental hazards. The page then introduces many of the creatures the player will encounter, framed as Xanathar's subordinates, welcoming the intruders. It showcases various monsters with small screenshots and brief descriptions, including the weak but numerous kobolds, relentless skeletons, undead zombies, elusive drow elves, giant spiders with venomous fangs, driders, drow spider hybrids, electric attacking kuotoa, fierce flines, friendly dwarves, fiery hellhounds, weapon-damaging rust monsters, powerful mantis warriors, tougher advanced skeletons, the elemental Zorn, thieving kenku, reality-bending displacer beasts, and the tough golem. Finally, the page highlights 12 optional special quests hidden within the dungeon floors, distinct from the main story. Completing these grants significant experience points. A contest is announced for magazine readers who achieve these, offering a special paper knife prize to the first 15 responders. Hints for these quests are provided for each floor, ranging from placing specific items in locations to solving puzzles. The prize is described as a golden, luxurious paper knife. This page highlights Battle Fantasy, an original action fighting game from Micronet for the Mega Drive. It boasts a unique structure, with multiple modes to keep players hooked beyond standard one-on-one matches. Beyond the typical versus mode for battling friends or the CPU, you've got an auto battle mode where you can set up character strategies and watch the AI duke it out, and a deep growth mode that blends RPG exploration with side-scrolling action stages and quests. There's even a manual mode serving as a tutorial for newcomers. The game features a diverse roster of 10 characters, including humans, beastmen, and giants, each with their own motives but a shared goal of defeating the Demon King. The magazine notes that special moves are intentionally easy to pull off, making it accessible even for players who aren't fighting game experts. Character spotlights showcase McDial, a masked swordsman seeking to overcome his past, and Coldy, a beastman determined to rescue his kidnapped sister. The page suggests there's plenty of gameplay variety to satisfy players. This page continues the spotlight on the action fighting game Battle Fantasy, introducing more of the diverse cast. You'll find details on 8 additional characters, each with unique fighting styles and backstories, driving them into the conflict against the Demon King. These characters include Sarah, seeking vengeance after her village is destroyed, Algos, a warrior hunting for his stolen family treasure, and Kirkfitilth, a heavily armored fighter whose town was also ruined. There's Lepier, an elf investigating why the forest animals were turned to stone, and Tridyme, a powerful magic user. Also appearing are Guy, a ninja undergoing harsh training, Cybert, a strong and impactful fighter seeking powerful opponents, and Hallier, a bird-like character capable of triple jumps, who is determined to retrieve her stolen egg. The page provides character portraits and gameplay screenshots for each, illustrating their appearance and combat abilities. It reinforces the game's focus on a varied roster and individual character motivations, hinting at the depth of the game's lore and modes previewed on the previous page. This page features the game Kamen Rider Zo, an adventure title in the style of a Laserdisc game. It's based on the popular Japanese hero series and is the 13th entry in the Kamen Rider saga, arriving on the Mega CD as a live-action FMV game. Releasing on May 13th for 7,800 yen, the game boasts cinematic visuals that make you feel like you're watching a movie. Gameplay revolves around reacting to on-screen prompts like directional arrows, right, left, up, or button icons, punch. Quick reactions are key. The game incorporates a life system. Making mistakes results in damage, and losing all life leads to a game over. This system aims to reduce the frustration sometimes found in LD games. There's also an action selection screen for certain situations. The page shows several screenshots depicting intense action sequences and the iconic Kamen Rider Zor character. There's also a brief mention of impressive bike sections. The magazine expresses excitement about the hero making his game debut looking just like his movie counterpart. A small panel mentions you can experience Mega CD at Korakuen Yuenchi, waiting for you there. This page features the quirky adventure title, Bakuden Unbalanced Zone, arriving on the Mega CD. It's described as a unique musical adventure where a seemingly ordinary Shuten is thrust through time by a bomb god with the mission to save the world using the power of music. Gameplay is presented through a simple icon-based system. Players select actions from 5 icons displayed on the screen. Choosing the correct one advances the story. The game encourages experimentation, even highlighting that intentionally making mistakes can lead to amusing gags. The icons themselves change depending on the situation, adding a layer of strategy or perhaps just more opportunities for humor. The protagonist's journey spans different eras, starting in the primitive age where music hasn't been born, moving to the Edo period where music is forbidden by the shogun, and finally reaching the near future where a lack of vitality is countered by music, attracting strange cosplay aliens. The narrative weaves through these periods, challenging the player to restore balance through musical intervention. The game boasts a gorgeous staff, including members of the group Bakufu, contributing to its unique flavor. Screenshots showcase the various time periods and the distinct character designs. A small promotion announces a pick badge giveaway related to the release. This page showcases the Mega CD version of Koei's historical simulation game, Nobunaga's Ambition, Howden, Lord of Darkness. The focus is on the numerous extras included in this CD release, which arrived shortly after the cartridge version. While the core gameplay remains largely the same, centered on managing domestic affairs, engaging in diplomacy, and building military strength to conquer warring states-era Japan, the CD version adds significant value. It boasts a handy warlord data file with a search function, allowing players to delve into character details. A soundware feature lets players enjoy the game's orchestral background music, including 12 original tracks, with easy listening and random playback options. Crucially, it includes a brand new scenario starting in 1583, set after the death of Oda Nobunaga at Honnoji, offering a fresh historical perspective not found in previous versions. The page highlights that despite these additions, the price remains the same, making it a great deal. The page also includes a sidebar with other Mega CD news. It reports on the Mortal Kombat Mega CD port, calling it a complete and affordable arcade conversion. WWF Rage in the Cage is also mentioned, featuring new wrestlers. There's a note about the recently released record of Lodos War and anticipation for future releases incorporating video. The Laseractive platform's new software releases are highlighted, focusing on Taito and Trans-Pegasus titles. Virtual Cameraman 2, an adult game featuring photography and editing of 3 women, Shiori Fujitani, Yu-Ari, and Yumika Sugimoto. Boasts enhanced visuals, expanded locations like Phuket, and interactive 3D elements. Release is set for April 15th. Hyperion, a shooting game with cockpit view, high-quality CG environments, and interactive collision detection, is slated for May release. Finally, Zapping TV, an interactive drama based on a broadcast series, is coming to Laseractive, allowing player choice of character perspectives, and includes an Eldrum squared version. This page features Volume 49 of the B-Mega Urawaza League section, dedicated to hidden techniques and cheat codes for various games. The introduction mentions an increase in content density for this issue. Cheats are provided for several titles. For Virtual Racing on Genesis, a code involving holding directional buttons and action buttons while powering on allows access to a mirror mode. Alien vs. Predator Arcade details how to unlock an extra mode and lists special move inputs for playing as the alien. Terminator 2, the arcade game on Game Gear, gets an invincibility mode and options cheat via a specific button sequence entered on the music screen, plus a separate code for instant stage clear. Wolfchild on Genesis features a stage select code initiated in the options menu, with a table listing button inputs for accessing stages 2 through 9. Lastly, Jurassic Park on Genesis has passwords, Nyuk Nyuk for accessing stage select and options menus, and Freiheit, which jumps directly to the staff roll. The page also includes a section calling for readers to submit their own cheats. It outlines a grading system for submissions, ranging from major leaguers down to sandlot baseball, and details prizes for winners, including game software, book vouchers, and an exclusive telephone card. Instructions are provided on how to write and submit a postcard with the cheat information. This page features the Difficult Games International Rescue Mission section, issue 020, focusing on solutions to tricky situations encountered in challenging games. The introduction specifically highlights solutions for traps in the classic arcade dungeon crawler, Gauntlet. The first rescue request deals with Night Trap. A player is having trouble achieving a perfect clear despite capturing all the ogres by following a time schedule. The response provides a detailed timeline of when and where ogres appear throughout the night, crucial for achieving that elusive perfect rating by capturing them at the correct moments. The second problem concerns Gauntlet's quest mode, specifically a trap on the first floor of the castle that requires reflecting shots to destroy walls. The player struggles to get the reflection right using the teleporter, floating equipment, and mirroring rings. The solution explains there are two methods, but details the back method, which involves changing equipment on the teleporter and positioning correctly to guide the reflected shots from the monster generators to break the necessary walls. Screenshots illustrate the location and method for this Gauntlet puzzle. Finally, there's a section inviting players who are stuck in difficult games to send in their distress calls for potential inclusion and rescue in a future issue, along with details on where to send their requests. This page delves into the fighting game world with a focus on Art of Fighting 2. It highlights the characters' most powerful techniques, specifically their super moves and hidden moves, noting that hidden moves require your character's health to be at 1/4 or less while having a full spirit gauge. The page showcases the moves and their button combinations for a wide cast of characters including Ryo Sakazaki, Robert Garcia, Yuri Sakazaki, Takuma Sakazaki, King, Mr. Big, John Crawley, Jack Turner, Mickey Rogers, Li Pai Long, Eiji Kisaragi, and Temjin. It emphasizes these advanced techniques as the core focus, since basic moves are already widely known. There's also a small section featuring a look at a younger version of the notorious Geese Howard. Additionally, the page briefly touches on the Neo Geo game Football Frenzy, describing it as a realistic American football game with detailed formations, suggesting it's a game worth playing for Neo Geo enthusiasts, although it might be complex for newcomers. This page is a reader giveaway section for the May 1994 issue, offering various prizes to readers. The main attractions include the chance to win your choice of Sega Mega Drive or Game Gear software, released up to the end of April 1994, giving players a chance to pick up titles they might have missed. Other prizes include a Sega Tap Multitap, perfect for multiplayer fun with friends, a Mortal Kombat music CD highlighting its international popularity, a flying power disc frisbee based on the popular Windjammers arcade game, and special 3Do branded pens. There are also exclusive Langrissers 2 items, including a desk mat and a paperboard signed by the character designer. The page also features an information section discussing the recent release of the Genesis, Super 32X, highlighting how Sega's console lineup, from the upcoming Saturn down to the 8-bit Game Gear, is expanding. It notes that the next issue is scheduled for release on May 7th. Application details for the giveaway involve using a specific postcard, attaching a stamp, and providing personal information and prize choice, with a deadline of May 7th. A phone number is also provided for questions about the magazine's content, but not for game tips. The page concludes with a list of the magazine's staff. This page features an introduction to the Sega CD title, Record of Lodos War, Heroic War. A dramatic vertical tagline on the left proclaims, "Tear through the jet black darkness and become light." The centerpiece is a striking illustration, noted as being from the Record of Lodos War OVA, featuring the heroes Parn and Deedlit. Below this, the title Record of Lodos War, Heroic War, is prominently displayed. Scheduled for release in May, and priced at 7,800 yen. The game is described as introducing a completely new tactical action system. It promises a multi-scenario experience that will evoke new emotions with every playthrough, fully leveraging the capabilities of the Sega CD. Screenshots showcase two different views of the game. One appears to be a tactical map or exploration screen, while the other shows a combat encounter. The page concludes with copyright information, including references to the original creators and Sega, along with standard corporate details. This page heralds the arrival of Formula One World Championship 1993, Heavenly Symphony, a new F1 racing game developed through a joint effort between Fuji TV and Foca. This Mega CD title promises the ultimate F1 experience, featuring real drivers, machines, and teams from the 1993 season, along with narrated commentary that leverages the Mega CD's capabilities. Screenshots provide a glimpse of the action, showing the starting grid, an in-car perspective during a race, and a close-up portrait of a driver. The game is scheduled for release on April 23rd, at a price of 7,800 yen. The page also notes that soundtrack seeds for the game are being released by East West on April 25th. Furthermore, the bottom section showcases some of the Sega hardware available at the time, including the compact MegaDrive 2, the Mega CD 2 attachment, requiring a MegaDrive, and the all-known Victor Wonder Mega RGM2 console. This page features a striking close-up illustration of Sonic the Hedgehog, serving as a prominent announcement for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. The text confirms the game is scheduled for release on May 27th with a price of 5,800 yen, emphasizing that it's coming soon. The page is from BeepMD magazine and includes standard publishing information along the right side. At the bottom, the Sega logo is displayed alongside an image of the Mega Drive 2 console, linking the exciting new title to the system it will be available on. This clearly aims to build anticipation for the next major entry in the iconic Sonic series.